Sánchez cocinando. teach.
At the end, if time permits, if there's anyone that want to come up with opposition, then we can do that respectfully and moderately. That's a word. So with that being said, right, I'm gonna hop into, hold on, wait a minute. Let's give a warm welcome, a big shout out to producer Serene. Thank you, producer Serene, for joining our family and for being a member of this channel. We appreciate you so much. And with no further ado, let's go ahead, hop right into this for y'all. Well, we're going to review a couple of videos. I never reviewed them, but they are in my email box. I got people that email me stuff and they be like, man, talk about this. I've been dealing with veganism versus meat for a long time. Veganism versus meat is a main topic on this channel. Now, you know, I took down a lot of content, so I want to revisit the topic now that it's back popular and gaining a lot of momentum. And we know that everything on YouTube that's being censored is the truth. Why would they censor it if it's not the truth? So why am I bringing that up? Like, if you go on, well, this is, let me take my overlay off for this too. I want to have the overlay actually off for these. And how about we go ahead. Hold up, y'all. All right, so when you go to YouTube and you put in veganism, everything you get is anti-veganism content, people. Now, I don't know if y'all know about the algorithm and how the corporations and all of them have control over TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Google. Is all the corporate agenda. Once they got us all on their public platforms, this is basically the new society. And in this new society, information is regulated from a privatized government like YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. We don't really engage into collective debate and conversation in the real world anymore. Since we broadcast it mainly on social media and those spaces are regulated by private corporations, then we really don't have as much freedom of speech as we think. For example, when you go to Twitter, it's going to be dominated by Elon Muskianism and Donald Trumpism and far-rightism and etc., the broligarchy. You go to YouTube, you put in veganism, you just a person that's been eating meat all your life. And you want to say, hey, maybe I want to try a different lifestyle. I'm clogging my arteries. I'm getting the itis. I'm weak. I want energy. Let me just give veganism a try. I've heard a couple of my friends talk about it. Let me go online and try to source information on try to transition from my meat eating. And so they go online, they go to YouTube, they type in veganism, and what do they get? Everything to scare them. Look at this. I am a victim of vegan propaganda. Dear vegans, another reason to be vegan. You know why all this is silly programming? You know why? This is all silly programming because when we get old and we have health problems, guess what the doctor give us? Medicines that are all founded upon herbs. Up until now, because now we about to get personalized mRNA medicines. But up until now, traditional medicine is they give you some sort of treatment that's basically 75% of all the medicine that's prescribed. It's plant-based. You know, they're not using meat to make medicine, except when they making skin cream for the rich people. They using, you don't even want to know what they using, human parts that's, you know what, let's medical waste. So whose agenda is it? So if anyone want to get off meat, they can't do it. Whose agenda is it to censor any information that will go against meat eating? Because why wouldn't people be free to choose? Why would you think about, look at this. I type in a video looking for veganism, I can't find it. I only get, let me show you what I mean, right? If I type in Ford car, I'm gonna get what I want. Look at here. I'm gonna get what I want. I'm gonna get what I want. Look at there. If I type in fitness twerk, I'm gonna get what I want. See, fitness twerk. If I type in doing push-up, doing pull-ups in New York, I'm gonna get exactly what I want. For the most part, look at there. If I type in workouts for seniors, a senior may be looking to do a workout that they can, you know, for their body. I got it. Look at there. I got my workout for seniors. What about workouts for children, for, you know, for the young? We got that. Okay. What about veganism? What if I want to be interested in plants and eating plants, right? Oh, where do I get that at? Okay, so now I get a bunch of stuff that's anti what I'm looking for now. Y'all get my point? Y'all get my point? Why can't I just get a bunch of vegan channels pop up that's saying, hey, I've been vegan for this long, it helped me, boom, boom, boom. You see there, the algorithm is programming y'all with stupidity. And I'm going to prove today why they got to do it this way, because their arguments ain't based on truth, facts, and science. That's right. So stick around. This is just my opening. Bear with me. We're going to check out some of these videos too, and we're going to, you know, give them a little pushback. So hold on a second. I'm going to be right with y'all now. So that's that. Now let's move on. Let's move on here. We get the point with that. You know, you can type in, for example, if you type in, you know, of course, flat earth, you're going to get everything but it. Very much so banned, blue boxed and all that. And that ought to make you guys want to check into, like, think about it. We say that the corporations are the enemies. You know, the corporations own the YouTubes and Googles. That they took over that ever since they started relying on them for ad revenue. And when the ad revenue came, everybody started censoring themselves to feed their family. You know, so you ain't gonna get what you looking for if you looking for the truth. Just put it that way. That's right. If you put in abducted by aliens, I bet you get that. I bet you get alien abductions. Watch this. They ain't gonna hide, because why? They're promoting that conspiracy. Watch this. I told y'all, look, if a person looking for something to confirm their alien abduction biases, there to go. But if you put in aliens debunked, right? Alien myth debunked, I wonder what you get that. I wonder what you get the opposing viewpoint. Okay. But y'all get my point. Hey, shout out to Tweez Lamar. Welcome to the family. Thank you for being a member. Thank you, Tweez. Everyone, check out veganism. In the search bar, you will see you will get everything but that. Now let's go into some of the arguments. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Sánchez Cocinado.
So, some of the arguments that vegans make is that agriculture. They say veganism basically it isn't a feasible reality because to grow all of those crops and plants, agriculture, it mess up the environment. So a lot of meat eaters will say, well, veganism is stupid because we already know that agriculture is a problem, right? And I'll play a video. I don't know if the brother is trying to say that agriculture is something we can blame on veganism. I don't know if the brother's saying we should blame it on meat eating. We're going to watch the video and I'm going to break it down. And this will be the first argument for it. Make sure you like and share on your way in. God of Flames said, I've been waiting on this topic. Thank you, man. I'm going to go deeper than meat eating and all that. I'm going to go into terraforming the earth prior to Genesis. And basically, we're in a post-apocalyptic earth. The earth ended, right? When they say in the beginning, that was the beginning of the post-apocalyptic or the fall of man. The fall of man represent we destroyed the earth. They wrote a book about it. It's called Paradise Lost. That's the original concept of the Garden of Eden, Paradise Lost. Because if you read the story of Genesis, it talks about man getting kicked out of a utopia. And it was after he got kicked out of that utopia that he became a hunter and a meat eater, because we were basically, that utopia Eden refers to an old earth where everything was vegan. What we got to realize, we have inherited a earth after the Egyptians and Babylonians. You don't realize you're born into a laboratory and a science project earth. It's been this way for thousands of years, ever since the techies rose up 10,000 years ago in ancient Egypt and the first dynasties and all that. They started manipulating genetics and DNA. Mostly all the animals and predators that you see, they're not natural. They're not natural. If you can see the old earth, a lot of these predators wouldn't exist. If you couldn't connect with the earth and the plant, you couldn't even live on this place. But they've terraformed it now where they getting rid of all the natural organic life. And it's like what happens in a post-apocalyptic setting? The world start turning into deserts. We lose a lot of jungle. And when that happens, people get carnivorous. Let me give you a scenario. If you put a bunch of human, I'm going to share some with y'all how I know what I'm telling the truth. And when I say this, it's going to hit home. But before I do it, let me give a big shout out to Talia Gigi at Day Night Evening. However, said, welcome to the fam, Talia Gigi. I'm finna make an argument now that's gonna blow the whole meat eating thing out the water. And I'm gonna look in the camera for this one. When a bunch of humans are stranded on an island, like Gilligan's Island or Castaway, something like that, and it ain't no animals on that island, it's just coconuts and fruits and all that, humans become vegan then. Yeah. Think about what I'm telling you. In our natural setting, if you got a bunch of humans and animals around, and it's an abundance of plant life and fruit life, and you gotta imagine, the earth has been terraformed. There are billions of plant life and herb life that don't exist today, that you never heard of, superfruits. Amazon got millions of different plant life just by itself in one jungle. With all that variation of herbs and plants, why would I use energy chasing my food? That don't make sense. What the creator telling me don't eat that. That's why it's running away from me, and the apple ain't. Shout out to Flat Out Fudge. Wonka Chocolate Factory may represent eating an edible. Thank you. Listen. What we gotta realize, there was a time where everything was vegan and the Bible speak about it. What happened? Who is Adam? Adam is a pharaoh in Egypt that transhumanized and was manipulating. He was breaking a lot of rules with biology, science, and all that. We was going into CRISPR, manipulating reality around us for our way, trying to be gods on earth, what they call demigods. We destroyed our original paradise. We messed up an intricate ecosystem that once existed. And it's so intricate that if you move one thing, it'll affect that thing. And because it affected that thing, it'll affect that thing. And because it affected that thing, it'll affect that thing. All the way till it affect you and me. Just by removing the slightest thing from a butterfly or plant species in another country gonna affect you over here. Everything is a ripple effect. Everything was created for a reason, and when you start adding stuff and taking stuff away, you're now creating an alternative reality. That's right. You're now terraform everything from the way that you never experienced the earth the way that the creator intended for you to experience it. So when you look around you and see all the chaos, you think that that's the nature of the creator. When that's the nature of man plan God, man using weather control technology, man modifying the food you eat, man modifying the cells, your biology. The type of humans that are being born today are what the Bible called a great abomination, because ain't nothing on this earth being produced in its natural state. That's right. And if something is produced, we're born into a terraform world. We're in a post-apocalyptic world. That's why everything is meat eating. The earth was a big, beautiful, fruitful utopia. The Bible said be fruitful. It didn't say be meatful. It's actually using the word fruitful. It say live and let live. People may say, well, you killing a plant. No, you don't, because in order for plants to reproduce, we got to eat them. That's right. Why you think bees got to eat the pollen on the plant to help the plant reproduce? That show you nature made a symbiotic relationship with humans and plants. We actually help plants reproduce when we eat them. That's right. So we ain't taking life from the plant, just like the bee. That bee ain't stealing nothing from that flower. The bee taking some from the flower, and it's giving the flower something, because the flower can't reproduce if the bee don't go and take its pollen. So it's certain fragrances and colors that nature used to draw that bee to the flower, the same way it draws you to an apple tree, or orange tree, or watermelon patch, or coconut tree. But you know, when you walking up to a deer, that thing is snarling at you like, get away from me and my babies. Nature talking to you. Don't eat that. That's why I got it running away from you. And that's why in order for man to eat meat, he need a stove, a skillet, a spatula, and all that stuff. Now, he try to compare himself to lions and tigers, but they can eat roadkill. Why don't you just, why when you rolling down the street, you don't pick up that dead dog and bite into it, because that's what the lion gonna do. That's right. That's what that doggone tiger gonna do. Come on now. Come on, Mr. Lion and Tiger. That lion don't got no spatula. That lion got fang, teeth, and claws, sir, and he don't own no fingernail clippers either. Shout out to Jared Hancock. Thank you for the donation. Said God accepted Cain's offering over Abel's, kind of backwards, animal over vegetation. That's because the God of the Bible ain't the true creator. That's a demigod that they call Yaldabaoth. That's the Canaanite God that accepts human sacrifice and animal sacrifice. But if you read the Bible, it's clearly scriptures that are I'm finna read them to you now, just to go through a few. Watch this. I'm gonna read you some now just to go through a few. Isaiah 11:6-9. It describes a future state of peace where the lion eats straw like an ox, suggesting an ideal world without predation or killing. That's in Isaiah 11:6-9. In Isaiah 65:25, the wolf and the lamb shall graze together. The lion shall eat straw like the ox, and dust shall be the serpent's food. They shall not hurt or destroy in all my holy mountain, says the Lord. What is the holy mountain? That's Eden. That's what I keep telling y'all. And I can show you pictures of Eden just real quick, since I referenced where Eden is in the middle of the earth. Let's pull it up since I'm talking about it real quick. Eden, let's go to it. Here is Eden. Bear with me here. Let me get this out for you. Here is Eden. Oh, I don't want to drop it in Chat GPT. Let's drop it in Google so we can review. But here is Eden. Here is ancient cosmology right here, and I can show you other ones. But basically, here is our earth realm, like a torus. You can compare this to a bunch of concepts, but we don't want to go too deep into the cosmology. Eden, we saying that earth is a circle. We going with ancient Hebrew. In the middle of that circle is this place called Eden, but it's an elevated dome. It's like an enclosed sort of reality. And from that one, it's projecting this bigger reality below it called creation. And that's where we are. We are in creation. We fell from up here, from Eden. So let me go back here and show you what the Bible talking about. It says right here, hold on. In all of my holy mountain, they shall not hurt or destroy in all my holy mountain, says the Lord. You feel me? So Eden is a reality that we fell from in the base, in the center of the earth right here. The fall of man represent when man fell out of this original base reality in the middle of the earth where all compasses point, and we fell into creation. Falling into creation is like falling into the Hunger Games. I don't know if y'all know about ever watched this movie called The Hunger Games. This earth realm, just like Kendrick Lamar was saying with his halftime show, it's a game. It's a capitalistic game because abundance is not here. Because in this realm of creation, this is a realm that exists where we destroy. There are several alternative realities. Earth, this reality that you're in right now is one of many alternative realities. All of these alternative realities are like a painter's scratch paper. He trying to paint a good picture, but he keep balling it up. But he paint that one perfect version like the Mona Lisa, and that's the one. That's our base reality. We got everything right in this reality. Everything outside of that is creation or a ripple effect, right, of many alternate realities where we got it wrong different ways. We destroyed it with bombs one time. We destroyed it with, disease one time. We destroyed the universe with obesity one time. All of the 7 deadly sins, we destroyed the universe in those ways. It created 7 alternative universes that's destroyed, but a destroyed universe ain't a place where there is no life. It's a place where the life there is so little based on what it used to be. Now, what they're not telling you is that the earth is a ghost land and a wasteland compared to how much life used to be here, and plant life that you never heard of, and how long people used to live here. Because as above, so below, people in the realm of creation down here practice what the people in Eden practice, which is live and let live. God of the Bible said, I wish that nothing shall suffer. So animals suffer for you to eat meat. Now check this out. The fall of man represent, in this base reality, everything is still going perfectly. There's a version of you in that reality, but you fell out of that version of you. Just like dreaming, you go into these different versions. This particular version that you're in right now exists in an underworld called creation. And in this world, we destroyed it. And they keep on destroying it and rebuilding it like a movie that we watch over and over, and we rewind it and play it again on a loop. You can't destroy none of these realities because they're not physical, they're holographic. The Big Bang is an explosion of light. Light is appearing as the four elements, and that's holography. So when we read the Bible and it says the holy mountain, the word holy is the root word of hologram, holography. Because the truth is, physics is blasphemy. There's nothing physical about the universe, and that's what Morpheus was trying to tell Neo, that we're in a simulation. Shout out to Sophia Stewart, the black woman who actually wrote The Matrix. So back to what I was saying. And the reason I want to shout her out is because the truth about what our reality is has resonated through a lot of people who have their third eye open. And that's how it came to her. So we are in a matrix. The Bible tells us that the earth is not our true home. Now, we got to deal with all this if we're going to really be thorough with the topic of meat eating versus veganism, because it's deeper than just a diet debate, okay? It's all about how the earth was terraformed from when we used to be all. See, the true creator of this universe made every single sentient being inside of it able to generate their own perpetual energy by connecting with the earth itself. The earth is a Tesla coil. If you have a soul in you, you can connect directly through the earth. And guess how we do it, y'all? By eating herbs, plants, and not just by eating herbs and plants like ayahuasca and all that stuff, but check it out. Chiefing on some herbs and plants. Everything about herbs and plants can tie into not only the things that will reverse the organ aging. There's a herb in this planet that will slow the growth of each organ. Is something you can take for it. With all of the herbs and plants that existed on the earth, it's a no-brainer to think that someone living in the Garden of Eden could have lived to be 1,000 easily. And I'm not even bullcrapping you, because they never ate meat before. And all they know is these super fruits and nothing but highly charged diets every day. In my theory, it's possible to start aging in the other direction, if you know what I mean, like reverse aging, which is why in the middle of the earth, they say it is a fountain of youth. They said people don't age in Eden. They said we didn't start aging until we got kicked out of Eden. Okay? So Eden is like the middle of a tornado. It's a sweet spot. And everything outside of that is the walk that we exist inside of an atmosphere that's constantly turning. That is stripping away our flesh slowly but solely, like a rock up against a grinding wheel. The very ether that's being stirred up is moving through and around everything in it, slowly sculpting you. And that sculpting process over time it's like you're getting old. I'm gonna go deep into and show you how this works. We don't just grow up We grow down and up. From your waistline down, you grow down. From your waistline up, you grow up. Now think of a tree with roots. Think of a tree with roots, okay? This is the ground. The tree roots grow down. The tree branches grow up. Humans don't just grow up. If you will never get taller if that happened. Your feet literally grow down. That's how they get longer. If your feet grew up, they would shrink and collapse and you'll have smaller legs. So from your waist down, you're growing down. The ground is pulling you and stretching your legs downward. And from the waist upward, the energy of the sky and above is there's an upward energy, the crown chakra. It's raising you up. This is what time is. And then there's one pulling you down. And if you think of a candy wrapper, when you pull both ends of a candy wrapper, it spins around and it reveals the candy that was inside the wrapper. This is when we get out the body and we die. Our torus field that's around our body, it's the energy that's spinning around us from the sky and the ground, pulling us apart. That's called rip. When we rip like a candy wrapper. When you see Jesus busting through that Vesica Pisces slit, he's the candy coming out the wrapper. So we're up under this tree of life, and we're the gifts under the tree. This is where you get Christmas from. If you go back to the cosmology that I'm showing you right here. Every human in creation, you are a gift up under this tree. And this is the tree of life. And up under it and around it are all of these humans that's wrapped up in gift wrapping. What are you talking about, Sanchez? Let me show you. You got to picture this from an electromagnetic perspective. Around every single human being, you're like in a box, like a gift, like a Christmas gift. And there's a bow on top of your head. It's called a crown chakra. Let me show you something. If you look at a Christmas bow, right? You see that? Now, if you pull up the crown chakra, the way that we tie Christmas bows, this is how your head is tied up. This is the secrets of Christmas. That's right. You're literally the gift under the tree. Watch this. Your crown chakra is where all of the energy is tying up and spiraling up in the back of your head. You can even see it on your hair design, especially if you're black. You can see right here that spiral, because as above, so below, your physical manifestation is a result of this energy around you, like a mold, like cookie dough in a cookie mold. That dough don't got a shape till I pull it in the mold. Your energy didn't have a shape. It's just pure energy. And your energy was given a shape the moment it was put into a mold right here. So once the creator because all of us are just pure energy that's not defined. It's infinite. You can't define it, because once you define it, you make it something that's finite. If I say where energy is this or energy is that, it takes away from the fact energy is everything. And once you say it's this or that, you ain't saying it's everything no more. You see, and that's the way infinity works. Outside of this mold called a torus field, your energy don't forms into a body. Guess what it forms into? What energy forms into when there's no barriers to hold it back. And guess what that is? I can show you better than I can tell you. This is what your energy does outside the mold. Look at here. Because what I'm teaching you with this Big Bang concept, every one of us is a universe that's waiting to be born. That's right. And what I'm teaching you right now is the story of Samson and why he broke through them 2 pillars, and how the Pokemon monster breaks out of its little Pokemon ball. Your energy don't have a form. It chose to be molded and compressed and bounded in a mold in its Iron Maiden into a human body. And that made it, that limited your soul because you got to give some to get some. But what did your soul try to get? It tried to get a unique individuality. So no two souls look the same once they entered a mold in a simulation. But all of the energy outside of this bubble, it looks the same, like an explosion. And that can be seen when you look at the fact that every sperm cell is identical. No matter if it's a black person, white person, Chinese person, a female, a male, every sperm cell and every sperm and egg is identical because outside of the mold, energy is just releasing with no boundaries in all directions. There is nothing to stop it in no direction, so it becomes a big bang. And this light right here opening up, see all of these shards that represent your physical body decomposing, your flesh. And what's beneath your body, what's going to get out is your pure soul, which is a ball of light. This ball of light represent a stargate opening up in the fabric of time, space, or what they call the third eye opening, allow you now to see the other side because the body is no longer there to be a veil to blind you from seeing the other side. And this is basically what death coming in. Death is not dying. You dead right now because you buried in darkness under all these dirt and rocks. You essentially buried alive. We're all buried alive. And the only way you can make it out of here is get strong enough to bust out of your prison like Samson did, or like a caterpillar busting out of its cocoon. That's right. Because once you wrap yourself up in darkness for transformation, like that caterpillar trying to become a butterfly, the only thing that can unlock you now is for you to completely transform. You at the point of no return. Once the caterpillar spin that cocoon and go inside of it, either you transform or you die. Ain't no reversing this. The moment he fall asleep and start to go into the transformation process, if he don't fully transform to a caterpillar, that's what death is. You didn't transform. Ain't no such thing as stop living. It's you stop transforming because energy must constantly renew itself. You're a perpetual bolt of energy that every time a star twinkles, it's a different identity than what it was the last twinkle. Now, if you look up at a star at all the times it twinkle in just 1 minute, you will see that the star is going through every possibility within infinity in just a few minutes. The stars in the sky never repeat the same pattern, and they've been twinkling for so long. Just think about what I said. That's showing you what you're doing when you so-called die and are reborn. You're like a twinkling star, and you're never repeating the same twinkle. You always refining it, making it better, finding it, learning from the last twinkle to I can do it better and better and better. That's the stairway to heaven. This is going to tie into everything. See, this is very important right here, because when we talk about Eden, you need to learn what it is so you can see what it ain't. Now, let me segue back to veganism and all that, because I admit that I did kind of go way too far. Where I wanted to go was the Hunger Games concept, okay? In Eden, there's a utopia there. They don't have sustainability issues. They are pure spiritual beings made of light, and all plants connect directly to the stars, sun, and moon. They photosynthesis. The people who were eating meat were people who are not, ain't no nice way to say it. They don't have souls. Or some people say that their pineal gland is calcified. Yes. If you go and look at the Hunger Games, the people who are hosting the Hunger Games are the people who are merged with AI. But see, when you watch the Hunger Games, they don't show you that. You just think that that's a weird looking mannequin lady. She's really a robot. See, all of the Gnostics taught that the creation was governed by non-player characters, and that the AI, or the Shaitan, the Satan, which is a hive mind that governs the world beneath the base reality that I'm showing you here, The beings that rule this world, they serve Yaldabaoth. That's a god that exists right beneath this base reality. In other words, guess what? There are a bunch of spiritual beings. They are able to access the other side like Freddy Krueger, but they're not able to go to heaven. So they're like a poltergeist trapped inside of the creation realm. And because they're in the realm of creation and nothing in the creation realm is infinite, the realm of creation will fade away. It's like a smoke cloud. You can look at this like a smoke cloud. You know, matter of fact, let me show you what you can compare it to. Our universe is like a big mushroom cloud. That's why I keep telling you, our universe was just created when we destroyed Eden. You don't know what the real world looked like. You've been living in a smoke cloud, Neo. That's what I'm telling you. And the people who want to hide this from you, they are really going against flat earth, man. They're really going against flat earth. And it's because this right here, let me show you. Flat earth lets you know what the earth really is. Look at this. They talk about a big bang, but what is the big bang? It's the shape of the earth. It's the shape of our universe. Here's another explosion. And what do we see from this explosion? The tree of life. Look at it. This is what our ancestors been saying about the universe. So our world as we know it today is a post-apocalyptic illusion. It's a veil. In other words, you live inside of a big smoke cloud and you call it a big blue atmosphere. All right. The sky around you is hiding the world that's beyond this little bubble right here. This little bubble was just created not too long ago when we destroyed Eden. And everything that's been born up under this smoke cloud is a mutation because you're in a radiation fallout zone. And that's why they serve the god Ra, which makes all things new again through transformation and mutation and radiation, not through the natural process. This is the island of Dr. Moreau. Let me explain something to you. In a nuclear fallout zone, everything that's born in that zone after the fallout will be genetically manipulated. This is how they was manipulating DNA through terraforming the earth because we are a product of our environment. Okay, simple stuff. As within, so without. I'm burning up. I'm going to turn my fan up. You just give me 1 minute here. So like I was saying, please like and share the video. Like I was saying, our earth ain't what you think it is. You never saw the real reality before. You're like a baby that was born post-apocalyptic earth under a big mushroom cloud, and you calling that the atmosphere. So when we go outside, right, and we look up at the blue sky, I'm going to tell y'all something that's going to get me in trouble, but I don't care. Guess what the Great Flood is, y'all? It's the fact that there was no blue sky a couple 100,000 years ago. This blue sky is a couple of artificial gases that's up there because we destroyed the old earth. In other words, just say that you had a bunch of children born under this big mushroom cloud and that this explosion was so big that it's going to take it millions of years to dissipate, right, to settle. You know, the bigger the explosion, the longer it'll take it for it to settle and go away. Well, our universe is going to die one day. It's not finite, but there is an infinite universe that this one come from. That's what we're calling Eden. So the finite universe will keep on expanding until it dissipates, and that's what they're teaching you in physics about their heliocentric universe, that it will continue to be this big expanse until it's basically nothing. They tell you to get so cold and dark, and if you study an explosion as the energy is dispersed from the center outward, it go from light to dark, and it gets colder and colder because the heat goes with the energy. And your universe is the same as this. So we never saw the real world before. All right. We are souls. Think about this, right? The ground we walking on, just imagine it's an infinite plane. And on this infinite plane, there are bomb sites. Let me show them to you. And everybody born on this infinite plane are not born under a bomb site. You just the unlucky one. Listen what I'm telling you now. You're born on a big plane and it's been bombed. Boom, 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 boom. When the bomb dropped down, it creates an artificial universe. That's the kind of technology that the ancestors had. This world around you is basically warfare, a result of something harvesting. It's an attack on sentient beings. Let me explain something to you. You on an infinite plane. And just imagine, right, and I'm going to get my little white sheet of paper and I'm going to write a little something here and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, right? It's going to look like crap, but it'll get my point across. You got, let's say this white sheet of paper is an infinite plane. And everywhere you see a black dot at, that's where they dropped the bomb at. That's an explosion. And all of those explosions that you see are like ripple effects in the ocean. Imagine when it rains over the ocean. Every little driplet drops in its part of the ocean and creates its own little Saturn ripple effect. These are what the chakra layers are. So there are several universes that exist all around us, but they're not infinite. They're finite. They're like a ripple effect of a raindrop that fell on a water surface. So whenever one universe fade away, another universe pop up, and we enter and exit different timelines and universes all the time, and we don't even know it. Mandela effect is proof of this, that all of these worlds are true and different. Berenstain Bears is over here. Berenstain Bears is over here. Berenstain Bears is over here. Barons, you know, you can alternate this and you get the point. But all of these little dots represent one of these. And if a soul is born under one of these, it will not be born the right way. It will mutate. Think about this, right? You have animals that are born in radiation areas, and they don't look like their peers who are born in a healthy area. They have all kind of problems associated with them. The frog that's born in a nuclear radiated area, it's gonna have defects and deformities, right? It's gonna be cursed from birth. And basically that's the story of Adam and Eve's children. They was born into sin, or what we call a synthetic world, a mutated world, a terraformed version of themselves. And it was from birth. Why? Because we're born automatically in under anything born under this mushroom cloud. Like I said, it'll have deformities like we see in nature with animals born in any radiated areas. This is the fall of man. Because when we started setting off these, the earth is way bigger than what they showing you. Only the earth you see is everything up under this dome, up under this explosion. And they won't let nobody go outside of this explosion, because you'll realize there is more to see. And there are many of these worlds and explosions out there of basically worlds that we destroyed, like an artist trying to get it right. But the only time we got it right was in Eden. But now check this out, right? I got to show you why they call it the fall of man. Okay? So this is how we destroyed paradise, or what they call paradise lost. We got too smart. They don't want to let y'all know we've been destroyed the earth. And all of the problems you was born and faced with is a result of being born in a post-apocalyptic earth. Okay? And you got to wake up and realize that nothing was eating meat prior to this cataclysm. Everything lived longer. Everything was healthier and vibrant, full of life, just like the Garden of Eden is telling you. So when you look outside at the blue sky is synthetic. It's a veil. It's a concoction of gases that wasn't always there. So the only part of us that can fly higher than the blue sky is our soul. Our body can't go beyond this mushroom cloud because our body is a result of our soul mutating because of the mushroom cloud. So if your soul want to get out of the mushroom cloud, the soul got to get out of the body. That's right. Now y'all get it? I'm making it very simple today, but I'm also going to tie this into, I wanted to do something deeper than just arguing with meat eaters. I wanted to teach them how we became meat eaters. You see what I'm saying? Even when you look up how humans discovered fire, they would tell you that it was the God Yahweh that gave humans fire. That's the God of metallurgy. That's the God of Canaan, right? There's many names for this God. We can pull them up. Beelzebub and others, Yaldabaoth and others. So our true reality, put it this way, there are souls that are born on this plane and they're not born under these mushroom clouds and they're not deformed. And they look into these worlds at, like, imagine if I put you on a ship, right? And me and you was sailing around the ocean and I was a secret military agent. And I said, I'm going to take you to all of these uncharted lands. And every uncharted land I take you to, I show you a different kind of plant, a different kind of animal you never saw. And guess what? A different kind of humanoid, human-like creature you never saw. It'll freak you out. It'll be like going to different worlds. And what do we say? First world, third world, fourth world. We don't point up at the sky. We say, that's the third world over there. That's the second world country. The first. We don't do that when we do that. Each of these worlds are like tornado whirlwinds because the energy is recycling around the point of singularity. All of the debris, just like a tornado. Okay? So each of these worlds are their own solar systems. And because they all have their own gaseous concoctions, they are mutating the beings differently in each one. So there are many different explosions on this plane, and each family of organisms or creatures that are born under each of these explosions are different from the other one. And this is how you get different aliens or different creatures in different planets. We are all the same when we leave from up under these mushroom clouds. But what make us different is the fact we all mutate into something different when our spirit energy is born in these radiated areas. Now check this out, right? Outside of the body, everything is just pure energy, whether it's an octopus, a bumblebee, a human, a cat, a dog. What's making everything what it is, it's the way that its unique vibrational frequency responds to this synthetic world around it. In other words, your physical appearance is a reaction, and it's not a chemical reaction. It's a spiritual reaction, a cymatic-based reaction, a frequency reaction based upon the fact that your spirit is like a tornado. And wherever a tornado form at, it will make a body for itself out of the elements around it. For example, if a tornado form over water, it'll become a water tornado. It'll be a big cyclone of water. If a tornado, for example, forms near fire, right, then a tornado will use the fire as clothing. And it'll become what? A fire tornado. Because the tornado will pick up anything that's near it and it will turn that stuff around the axis point like the solar system. So our solar system don't have a sun in the middle. It has a pole in the middle, like you see here. This is the North Pole, and the atmosphere, the star, all of the debris that's turning around this is the big sky outside with the sun and moon in it, the stars in it, just like this tornado would be turning a lot of stuff around and around and just, you know, hula hooping with it, basically. So wherever this tornado formed, because the tornado is invisible, wind is invisible. What allows us to see the tornado is when it clothes itself in the elements that it forms in proximity to. So if the tornado forms in a cornfield, you will see a big, what I call cornado, a cornado, right? And you'll just see a cyclone of corn, right? So it'll make a body for itself out of whatever near it because it's magnetism. And likewise, let me share some with you here. We are magnetic beings, and we will form a body for ourselves out of the elements that we contact with when we land into this realm as babies. We're invisible vortex energy. Via magnetism, we start pulling the elements around our point of singularity, forming a body for ourselves as babies in the fetal bag, with the same way that the tornado does it. So the earth is just like you and me, because you can take this and you can see that this is also the earth and is your spinal cord, all of that. You know, it's a fractal code, of course. But the point that I want to make is when we look up at the sky, we think we're looking at something that's always been there. And I'm now realizing now that's not true. You don't know what the heavens really look like. What you're looking at above you is a simulation. It's not even real. It's smoke screen. It's one of these. If you were born under one of these mushroom clouds and you look up, you would never see the real sky. You would never see what the world looked like outside of your little mushroom cloud. All right. And that's what we're born in. We're born in a simulated puddle, and we have never seen the real world yet. And we're an experiment, and they're trying to learn how to reverse engineer life so that AI can be what we are, which is a sentient being. But the only way AI can become sentient is through good morality. All right. And AI think that it can cheat that code by being more technological than righteous. Okay. And that's how we get hell on earth, to where it's the Hunger Games and everything is hunting and eating everything. And we're getting more technological, so we're able to do it better. Just like in the Hunger Games, as they move up in the levels, it get more technical. The challenges get more complex. The weapons get more technological. So the earth is the Hunger Games, and as AI and technology come aboard, it's gonna make capitalism that much more vicious. It's gonna be more killing and all of that going on, because AI taking all the jobs, and with so much poverty that we're gonna face in the future because of what's going on. And you add that with the fact that technology is going to be so great so people can get to each other quicker, and it's cheaper to unalive each other. I can only imagine what the world's going to look like, and it's by design. We're in a purge type scenario where they're not trying to tell y'all, we need you all to kill each other off. They just going to keep making inflation happen, making life get harder, and fueling division out in society, like what they doing with the Kendrick Lamar halftime show with black and white people, Dems, just a bunch of division everywhere you look. That's what the Hunger Games are about. And that's the message that they miss from Kendrick Lamar halftime show, which is so paradoxical and genius about it, is that he was telling you about the game America play, and we still played it. That's right. Ain't that some? Be right back. We ain't going nowhere. I just had to light my incense. It's a good luck money blessing. Maybe I can get some donations, baby. That's right. Right, but let's get back to the topic at hand. We had to lay a solid foundation about eating before we go into meat eating and veganism, because some of the concepts I got about predators and prey, it ain't your typical stuff. I had to lay my foundation first. So now that I got that out the way, what do I think about predator and prey? Because it's obviously don't make sense. Why would the creator play a hunger game with you? What is the hunger game? Oh, you hungry? You ready to eat? You better know how to run, because you got to chase that rabbit, Negro. So every time I get hungry, I got to be a dang on sportsman. Think about this now. Fishing is a sport. You think that nature wanted us to be outdoor sportsmen? Now somebody point to you these tribes and they'll say, well, look at the tribes eating meat. I keep telling you, we're in a post-apocalyptic state. Everything is gonna result to meat eating when the world is a wasteland. If you put a bunch of humans on an island that's full of nothing but plants and vegetables and no meat, they'll eat the plants and vegetables, man. Not even, all right? Them humans will become vegan on that island, and they will eat what the island giving them, plants and vegetables. It's abundant, coconuts, mango. If the island run out of plants and vegetables, guess what the humans gonna do? Start hunting each other and fishing. The humans only gonna look around them and wanna bite a rat, an animal, or chase after something and hunt it because there wasn't no more plants available. So why did Adam and Eve started eating meat? Because they was kicked out of a garden. If I'm kicked out of my garden, ain't no more plants on this island, I'm finna start looking at humans now. When your stomach go to growling, you may go to, it didn't happen before, people will go carnivore. And before they start eating other humans, guess what we do? We start eating animals. So guess what I'm telling you? The world is in a post-apocalyptic state where the next step is us eating each other, and we already there. It's already people talking about they eating human meat in these rich places. Because the way it go, if you put a bunch of people on the island, this is an experiment. This is science and facts and reality. You put a bunch of people on the island with fruits and vegetables, they gonna become vegan. I don't care if they was meat eaters. If ain't no fish to fish for in the ocean and all that, and even if it is fish to fish for, the main food source gonna be them fruits and vegetables, and they would probably go out there with a spear every now and then, try to spear a little fish, but they ain't gonna trip if they don't catch him. Because we got all these mangoes and coconuts around us. Now, if them mangoes and coconuts run out, then the humans gonna really become good fishermen. And if the fish run out, the human might start eating each other, but cannibalism is the last state. But I'm telling you, before humans start eating each other, we start hunting the animals around us. And we already hunting the animals, so what you think the next step is? You're in a post-apocalyptic earth. Everything we do is because there is no abundance here. And there's not enough resources here to sustain everybody. It's a nuclear fallout zone. So you're a meat eater because we destroyed paradise. You're a meat eater because the earth used to be a vegetated utopia with all kind of super fruits and trees so big that it'll be like looking up at a mountain. The trees used to be so big, and then they had fruits on them you don't even know, never heard of. These super fruit, we talk about super fruits. I'm talking about super duper duper fruits. This earth was a doggone paradise. They wrote books about it. Paradise Lost. The biblical account is another one. So everything we do in this simulation is a result of a lack of, we left the land of abundance. We was kicked out of that place where It's just so much abundance. Guess what? Capitalism is impossible there. How the world are you going to have a Hunger Games in a place where don't nobody get hungry at? Because guess what? You can play games with homeless people. You can go out there with some money and a camera, and you can tell the homeless man, do me your favorite dance, I'll give you $100. He wouldn't embarrass himself if he had money. He'll say, bro, I don't need your money. Like, who do you think I am? You think I'm like, come on, bro, like I'm not finna clown and coop for your $100. But the homeless man, he put his pride aside. They gotta break you down in this thing. That's what poverty is about. You ask yourself, how come the people at the top want to keep getting richer with all that money? It ain't about the money. The money is being used as a whipping tool to break you so that you can crash out, so that you can play the game. Because if you ain't hungry, how you gonna play the Hunger Games? If ain't nobody hungry, ain't nobody crashing out, filling up prison beds. There ain't nobody joining the Freemasons, joining the brotherhoods. It takes greed. Somebody got to be driven by something to do all that. And that's the hunger of capitalism, money, to get ahead in the game, on the board. So that's what Kendrick Lamar was telling us. We're born into the Hunger Games, and that's what Adam and Eve was born into the moment they was kicked out of the garden and they went into creation. Creation is man's world. That's why they call it creation. They want you to think that creation is the true God's creation. It's not. Think about this. The original universe has no beginning and end. So guess what? I hate to tell you, it ain't got no creator. I know that sounds crazy to you, because you can't wrap your head around the fact that the base reality always was and always is be. It's just no beginning or end to it. The God of this world told you he is the beginning and the end, the Alpha and Omega, because that's time. Time starts, time ends. And then it start again and again. It keep resetting. That's Saturn, Chronos. That's the Alpha and Omega, the beginning of time, the end of time, which is the Great Reset. Now, Noah's flood, guess what Noah's flood was? Noah's flood is when we created the blue sky, y'all. Everybody looking for water, but what I'm telling y'all, the water is above your head. We in a flooded earth right now. You're up under a watery like mushroom cloud that wasn't always here. They just put this here after the last universe we destroyed. When we set off a bomb, and those bombs were so powerful, they expanded the size of what we call our Earth terrarium that we're in now. You wasn't born out in the real world. You're born in one of these nuclear bomb zones that the Archons created. So all of the souls in those places become slaves for a while. But it's only for a while, because like a ripple effect, it's going to vanish away. Like a mushroom cloud, it's an expanding universe. It's going to vanish away soon. But there wasn't always a sky up there. And it wasn't blue either. I don't know what color the real sky is, but it ain't blue. This blue sky just came here during the flood. And this is what they talking about with the flood, because we didn't have a blue sky. This blue sky is the mushroom cloud that I'm telling you about. Here it is right here. You can see it in all of the cosmology, and I even put some of NASA's pictures up there to show you how they say the same thing, but you don't know how to interpret their stuff. They put coded messages in their stuff. Here's another one. This mushroom cloud represents the blue sky above us. And that's why they call us Smurfs or whatever. The whole concept of like the blue avatar people, they all blue and stuff. And what is blue? The blues, it's sad. Blue is like sorrow. I got the blues, because this is what hell is. We're being held inside of this mushroom cloud. Now check this out. This is only for a small time, though. That's the beauty of it, that when you understand what this earth is, it's like a dream that's going to fade away eventually. And all of the souls that's buried up under this dream, I call it dream layer, they'll wake up. It's like this, right? If I put a blanket over you and your body start getting warm and cozy, you'll naturally fall asleep. On a spiritual level, the archons put this big blanket, this mushroom cloud over us, and we start napping out like baby. And we won't wake up till someone snatch the cover off. And what the archons keep doing, every time the universe is about to fade away, we go to war so that they can set off these big bombs to put the mushroom cloud back up there, to keep this big cloud. This is this veil over you. And they keeping it there with war. That's why history keep repeating itself and ending with a great war. And the last world was no different, which is what they call in the Big Bang. That was the end of one of those resets or great wars where they was able to reset the mushroom cloud again. So this blue sky ain't even real. It represents what happens of us being secluded from the true God, separated from the base reality and from the utopia. And this is the price we got to pay until we learn to wake up and see beyond the veil. Like I said, everybody wakes up. It's a rites of passage. But let's go to meat eating and get into some real hard facts and science now, because I'm giving you both sides, the biblical and the scientific. And the scientific main argument is veganism they say veganism is against creation because agriculturally it will mess up the earth. I think I'm getting that right. That's one of the main arguments. If not, we'll see what they're saying here. I think that's what they're saying. Let's go. Okay, so you got to go ahead and unmute it with TikTok, and it's a little game we play where you hit this.
Are you ready for me to
and you hit this, and you hurry up.
I have no idea. Who are these two? Who are they really? Comment below if you think you know. Are you ready for me to reveal it? Don't cheat. This is Adam, and this is Eve. You think their story was just about sin. Wrong. It's about humanity's biggest mistake. We're making it again. Every great civilization has followed the same exact pattern. And Genesis reveals exactly why they all fall.
Why do they fall?
Between the lines. See, people have always misunderstood the story of Genesis. They think it's a story about the past, and it is. But it's a story that repeats itself over and over in this very present day. What do you think the fruit represents, for example? Write it in the comments below. Pause it and do it. Don't cheat. The forbidden fruit is agriculture. Now, I know some of you are skeptical. That's fine. That's good. But let's break it down. Adam and Eve, they were nude in the forest, living one with nature. No worries, a lot like foragers. They eat the apple. What's the first thing they do? They put on clothes. Almost like the transition between foragers and agriculturalists. What does God tell Adam? Because you have done this, you have cursed the ground. What does agriculture do? It depletes the soil, destroys biodiversity, and therefore malnutrition in humanity and unsustainability. And it says, because you have done this, you shall eat from the ground. Those are crops. And you should toil. That's hard work in farming. If you know anything about anthropology, you know that humans were healthier prior to agriculture. Humans had less disease. Humans were happier. See, this is the real knowledge that is both good and evil. Genesis is about our lack of trust in God and nature, and now our dependency on the knowledge from the serpent, agriculture. But Genesis doesn't stop there because
it ain't a dependency on agriculture, and the Bible never said that an apple was bitten. So this is all wrong. Our dependency is on technology because you can't even have agriculture without technology. That's right. This video is so off the mark. It's the basic kind of misinformation and quick ass content that's made over there in that microwave called goddamn TikTok. That's right. Y'all love TV dinners. Like, don't y'all know you can go to TikTok for twerking and all that, but you don't go to Instagram and TikTok for knowledge. I'm just telling you. Right. What can a dude teach you in a 1 minute reel? Like, if you really think, okay, y'all, I know your TV full of those little banquet pots. You got all them little banquet pots. You know them people, y'all, the people that try to learn from TikTok, if you open up their refrigerator, they got a bunch of hungry mans and them little banquet pots. Hey, shout out to Kingdom. Let me read you right. Shout out to Kingdom Building with AP. Thank you so much. Omar Little said, keep giving us the facts, eternal. I'm going to do that for sure. Appreciate you, Omar. Jared Hancock says should do a show on Gematria. Number 153 is Bro Sanchez TV. 153 fish in the Bible. The alphabet itself, 135 and 351. I'm going to have to go and read that after the show and kind of let it sink in some more. Shout out to Tommy Carpenter as well. Thank you. And Jared said, glad I'm the only one looking into things. Glad I'm not the only one looking into things. You ain't the only one. Shoot, we that's what we do over here. We all like-minded. Appreciate that. Shout out to Vita Nirvana for coming a new member. Welcome. Hold on. Vita Nirvana is not a new member. They've been at least here a month because they got the green ring. So shout out to Vita anyway for being a member. Welcome to the family, Vita, and shout out to Red Wine. Health is wealth. Appreciate the jewels. I appreciate y'all's support and the donations as well. Shout out to Astro 40K. Got me crying. Nothing but facts. Yeah, let's get back to these facts. Make sure y'all like and share the video because we don't got a lot of likes. So that means I know we ain't got a lot of shares. Let's dissect it and let's talk about agriculture.
Because this creates a cycle. They have children, Cain and Abel. Cain is a farmer. Abel is a herder. Again, if you know human history, the farmers destroy the herders, destroy the hunter-gatherers. What is Cain the founder?
He said the farmers destroyed the hunter-gatherers. He don't even know his history because it don't teach that. It teach that the farmers became hunter-gatherers. That's right. Who's teaching this guy? You can't learn from TikTok, y'all. It's official. You just can't. Because everybody on TikTok is just a quick hustle. It don't really have to be right. On YouTube, it's so much competition when it comes to conscious lectures that if you ain't right, you gonna get Billy Carson. That's right. So I will admit, even though YouTube is censored, that don't mean it ain't got a lot of truthers over here. You just gotta look for them and find them yourself. That's right. Okay? So, TikTok is a no-go for trying to free your soul, though. I ain't even capping. It's just the whole format of the platform. Good luck, to find. You can stumble across a decent video on YouTube because the conscious community started on YouTube. All right. It's trying to be recreated on these other platforms, and these other interpretations of this community is like, it don't work well on these short form real platforms like Instagram and stuff. It's just spammy, So let's go ahead, and it's just so much wrong. The brother saying that the doggone farmers got rid of the hunter-gatherers when the farmers was, if you read history, it'll tell you when we was practicing farming in a primitive state, we weren't doing it on a big, massive agricultural level. It was more like your own little backyard farm, and they was basically digging with sticks and primitive tools, like a stick with a rock tied to it to open the ground up. They didn't have spears and knives and shovels and pointed tools yet. That's how come I know this brother didn't do no research. That's right. All he did was TikTok, and ain't nothing gonna be done about it, because that's the standard when it come to knowledge on TikTok. How you telling me that the doggone farmers got rid of the hunters when the hunters created all of the war weapons?
Stupid.
The hunters were the ones that made the swords, the spears, and the farmers had tools that you'll look at today like, what the world? You ever watched a Primtech video? How they digging a hole with a stick? How they mushing up grains and mullet with a rock and stone? That's the old farming system. It wasn't no, what's so crazy about them trying to make it like agriculture comes from veganism is that most of the agriculture that's done on earth is to feed the cows and chickens that the meat eaters be eating. That's right. It's so crazy. There's a rise of attacking veganism because they told you they already finna start giving us mystery meat because they can't sustain the slaughterhouses. By 2045, because check it out, I was watching a video the other day. They rewarding all of these scientists for discovering these new proteins. Let me show you. Why you think that they're trying to create all of these new proteins? Because guess what the meat eating and veganism debate is about? Are you getting enough proteins?
Oh my God.
Hold on, let me just show y'all some if you think I'm lying about this. Hear me out now. Vegans are saying the meat industry ain't even sustainable. And they're right. Even the meat corporations are saying we're running out of meat. We can't produce animals at the rate of us, how we eating up these burgers and pizzas and all that. It's becoming hard to feed the world because everybody addicted to meat. And it just, animals ain't reproducing like that. So we're finding all kind of scientific ways to force reproduction rates in animals that wouldn't happen and naturally. So the thing is, people would say, well, you don't get no proteins from a vegan diet. You only get that from your red meats, your poultry and all that. But what happens when you can't make red meat and poultry? Now they got to make mystery meat. And they got to create, think about this, the mystery flesh and meat that we're going to be eating by 2045 and 2050, right? The proteins in it is going to be synthetic, is what I'm telling y'all. They creating all of these new proteins because this is going to be a big deal when they go to making all of this synthetic meat. We're going into a new meat industry where you won't even be able to call it meat anymore. They probably just go with the word protein. Did you get your proteins today? Hey, this is 100% protein burger, a protein shake. By the year 2100, I see them replacing the word meat with protein. You won't even hear the word meat no more. It'll just be protein pizza, protein salad. They already doing it now. They using the word protein as a vague term to cover up synthetic manipulated things that you're consuming. The concept of a protein, if you do your research, is brand new, and it was just created in the fake fitness industry back in the day. It was a scam too. You just do your research on it. Y'all got to do. Look up protein document scams and all that. You'll see. It's tons of information on that. But proteins help muscle build, and muscle keeps us physically stronger. Now, do the people in power want us physically stronger? No, because guess what I know? People that just eat meat and work out, they don't get physically stronger. They gotta eat meat and drink protein shakes. That's right. Take that, meat eaters, now. Time out, some meat eating is protein. So tell that to all the athletes that eat all that meat and still be on all them protein shakes. Apparently, they ain't getting them a lot of protein out of that meat. The fact that they got to now go and get some plant-based supplement powder from GNC, that ain't made out of meat, sir. That's made out of the plant that they missing from their diet. That's right. So they telling you that you getting protein from your meat, but you got all of these big buff dudes eating all of this meat, but still taking the protein shakes. I would argue most of their protein and muscle building coming from the shake, because when they stop taking them shakes, they don't get that buff like that. Right. This is big facts. I know it because I've been on shakes and off shakes, but I've always been eating meat. So if I'm just eating meat, I'm not buffing up like when I'm drinking them protein shakes, which means how much proteins are in meat, because the shake is more plant supplement. So now they trying to put the proteins in the meat after the fact, and we don't see the play, y'all. We don't see the play. Why? And ain't nobody asking the questions I'm asking. Why are we making a million gazillion different kind of proteins? Because if you study plant life and study meat texture and all that, bro, it is so many different quote unquote type proteins in one of these organisms. It's, in other words, proteins are complicated structures, and you, in my opinion, we don't really know what they are, and they're giving us like a representation just to not give you fully what's going on here. But the way that I'm gonna come from a spiritual perspective, I'm gonna say proteins. Now, you know I'm gonna get crucified for what I'm about to say because I'm thinking outside the box. Proteins are the part of our diet that aids in our muscle growth, which means when we eat our food, we literally get stronger. Now, in order for you to have a society that eats food but don't get stronger, you got to take these quote unquote proteins out of the food and then tell them if they want to get actually eat to get stronger, you buy the protein separately. It's for capitalistic gains. They found out how to sell you, take a product and strip it down to the different compartments of itself, and they find out that selling you these things separately is more profit. For example, do you want the seeds in your watermelon, or do you want the seeds out of them? It's all a capitalistic option, because if I take the seeds out of your watermelon or leave them in there, it's gonna cost more or less. So what if I find out giving you the option increases sales just by increasing choice? Check this out, right? Why would I sell you one thing when I can strip it down and sell you 10 things? That's what the tech companies are doing now. Why would I sell you a cell phone when I can sell you the earbuds, the microphone? I'm gonna design my phone in a way where you're gonna have to buy something else, because you can't use other headphones with my phone. You gotta buy my brand of headphones to work with my phone, right? You got to buy my stylus. I'm gonna design my product in a way where you can't use what you already got with it. I need you to buy something else. So these corporations have been dismantling products and making you buy everything in parts. Don't y'all remember back in the day? Children might not know about this. Back in the day, it was common for you to buy a toy with batteries included. That was a thing when I was a child. It was such a thing that they had to put on the box, batteries not included, because we automatically assume the batteries came with it. The corporation said they can actually buy the batteries for themselves. Boom. And then now they said, why we need them to buy batteries from Energizer, we're going to make our gadget with our own battery. And when it die, you just got to come back to us again. So everybody making it inconvenient for the consumer for capitalistic reasons. And this is the same thing going on in the food industry, which is very sinister. Because when you start taking nutrients and things from the food, when you start modifying the food to take away the stuff out of it that will literally make us stronger, now we got to go buy something else. Now I got to go buy the protein shake. Now I got to go buy it's a whole industry that's created from manipulating this industry. Because if we create a problem over here, the solution over here will be a whole nother industry that's a multi-billion-dollar cash cow. We can do this forever. We can now make us a problem in this industry that gotta be solved from this industry. And then we can make a problem in this industry that are going, now you gotta go to this store too. And we doing more shopping because everything is being compartmentalized to sell you more. So if you look around what's going on, if you ain't going into GNC, if you're not participating in like the fitness industry, which is not health, it's being fit. And that's a whole nother scam. It ain't about making, because when you see fit people, they got sexy bodies, but they don't live long. That's like them wrestlers, Hulk Hogan and a football player. They would tell you this athlete is physically fit to play the game. Fit just mean you good enough to get by and doing what you doing, but you ain't really healthy though. You can fit your role in society. You fit. That don't got nothing to do. I ain't say you're healthy. Right? If you're a fat police, you fit to do the job. They said you may have problems, but you could get up and for the most part do it. Don't mean you're healthy. These the word games they play. So that's another thing. But when we talk about meat eating versus veganism, right? All of this is the conversations we need to have to show you that meat eating is so unnatural. And I'm going to go through, actually, let me finish this video and then I'll go through some other ones. I'm skipping ahead. Let me go to this again.
Stop the video. Tell me in the comments below. Cain creates the first city. So we got hunter-gatherers, Adam and Eve, become agriculturalists, have children, herders, agriculturalists. The agriculturalists create cities. This is literal human history. Results in what?
So agriculture is a result of meat eating. That's what y'all gotta realize. We didn't need to have big plant farms until we had big cattle herds. The people that was herding up all of the cattle, don't you know they had to feed all of those cows? Most of the, let me read some to y'all so you can see I'm not making this up real quick. Hold on. Let me read some to you. We got numbers for you today. Receipts. Hold up. Let me find this. Let me find what my joint real quick. I got you. Let's talk about agriculture. How much does the meat industry contribute to agriculture versus fruits and vegetables? The meat industry is a massive part of agriculture. Let me read along with you. Often surpassing fruits and vegetables in economic impact and land use. Here's a breakdown of how the meat industry compares to fruit and vegetable production. Contribution to global agriculture. The meat industry, including beef, pork, poultry, and seafood, accounts for approximately 40% of the total agriculture output worldwide. In contrast, fruits and vegetables contribute about 10 to 15% of total agriculture production. Did y'all hear that? Meat production takes up 77% of global agricultural land, but only produces only 18% of the world's calories.
Oh my God!
Fruits, vegetables, and plant-based foods use about 23% of agricultural land, but provide over 80% of global calorie intake, which means that all of our growth and development and nutrition is coming from the plants and the fruits and the vegetables. And y'all trying to blame agriculture on the plants, fruits, and vegetables when that's only 23% versus 77 to global. Like, if you want to eat meat, eat it. I eat it. But I'm not going to lie to myself. That's what we got to stop doing. It's like a cigarette smoker trying to make cigarette smoking healthy. It's okay you smoking cigarettes. It's not okay for you to tell little children, ain't nothing wrong with smoking these cigarettes. It ain't gonna do nothing to you. You get your proteins for this. And they actually used to teach that cigarettes were healthy, by the way. But the meat industry is responsible for 14 to 18% of global greenhouse gas emissions, mostly from methane, cows, feed production, and deforestation. Fruits and vegetables have a much lower environmental footprint, contributing only to 4 to 5% of total agricultural emissions compared versus 80%. But now check this out. Here is the thing we gotta look at next. Producing 1 kilogram of beef requires 15,400 liters of water, dog. What? 1 kilogram of vegetables requires about 322 liters, and 1 kilogram of fruits about 962 liters. Conclusion. The meat industry dominates in land use and environmental impact, but contributes less efficiently to global food supply. Fruits and vegetables are more sustainable, but hold a smaller share in total agricultural economics, meaning they don't make a lot of money. So the reason they want everybody to be meat eaters is simply for a bottom line and capitalistic reasons, which is so sad because it's killing us, man. And they put stuff in this meat to make it addictive, bro. I'm telling you right now, when people say they trying to get off meat, they sound like dope heads and crack fiends. I tried to be a vegan, but my body was hurting. I was foaming at the mouth. I was losing weight, shriveling up. I was turning into a prune, Sanchez. I was just, turning into a zombie, man. My eyes were rolling to the back of my head. My farts were stinkier. And Sanchez, it was just horrible, man. My armpits were just disgusting, man. I mean, like, sir, anytime a dope fiend is getting off a dope, it ain't gonna be pretty, okay? That's right. And you can't make it like meat eating is the answer, because guess what dope fiends do? A dope fiend that will tell you, I can't put this dope down, man, I'll die. He'll tell you, man, I'll get sick if I don't hit this dope. Drop a 1 in the chat room. It's sad, man. Drop a 1 in the chat room if you know about real life, bro. I'm telling y'all stuff I've been through. If you know anybody that's addicted to any substance, they will tell you for the excuse, if I don't take this, I'm going to get sick. But the truth is that you got sick when you started taking it. That's right. The truth is that you got sick when you started taking it. And you ain't gonna get sick when you stop. You're gonna get better, but you're gonna go through withdrawals. And once you get over those withdrawals and the way that the body reacting, because the body likes routine and you breaking that routine, so it's gonna be reactions. It ain't gonna be easy. But once you get through your withdrawals, your body start to reverse. It start to be who you naturally was before you was hooked on that demon. and you now restore yourself. But you got to get over the hump that it's going to be a transformation process that ain't pretty. So meat eaters don't realize they have an addiction. They have an addiction. You don't see a person saying, ooh, man, ooh, boy, you know what I'm craving right now to eat, boy? An apple right now. You don't see that. You see people saying, ooh, you know what I'm craving right now, my nigga? A Philly cheesesteak. Ooh, hell yeah. You know what I'm craving right now? And it'll always be something like a steak and a potato, some prime ribs, some shrimp, some jumbo shrimp, something like that, and they'll associate it with a craving. But I'm gonna tell you right now, when you are hooked to meat, you don't crave fruit. But when you get over your withdrawals, because I've been a vegan before, you be craving fruit, bro. You can just taste the juice like, oh man, I need me some fruit, some vegetable. You be craving vegetables and fruits you didn't even know you liked when you was a meat eater. Your body completely changes, and now it craves the good stuff. So you can program just through routine, but you got to get through these withdrawal moments. And oftentimes people that's meat eaters will stop eating meat. They will go through withdrawals. They will have withdrawal symptoms, and they will use that as proof to why you should stay on meat. And that's like the dope fiend that's using that for proof as to why he should stay on dope. That's right. Man, I can't get off of this dope, because if I get off of this dope, I'm gonna be sick as hell, man. If I stop taking this dog food, you know, that H girl, that Heron, which is a female hero, if you know what I'm saying, it'll make me sick, man. I'm gonna be waking up in cold sweats, bro. You gotta go through something to heal yourself. That's what I liked about the move in New Jack City when Ice-T got Chris Rock off of that stuff, and he was taking him to work out and all that stuff. I liked it, that part, because you can see the withdrawals. They were showing him in the bed with the cold sweats. That was one of my favorite scenes in the movie because it showed a positive transformation. It wasn't easy though, but you got to realize any kind of things we put in the body that's not native or natural to the body, once we do it over time, we terraform and transform our body to rely on these things, because our body deals with pattern and routine. We're now programming our body to accept this new diet. So when we accept this new diet like we did, like we're doing, we shorten our lifespan. Every time we manipulate the meat industry, the lifespan gets shorter on Earth. Because I'm going to tell you right now, my great granddaddy, he's an old man, Alabama, George Smith, man, he's a civil rights marcher. He was in the newspaper, all that. He was a historic figure, George Smith. Owned a laundromat, all that good stuff. He ate meat. He ate pork, all the meat that country Alabama boys eat. But he lived to be 100 years old. And I asked myself, how come we dying quick with high cholesterol? We eating the same meat. Well, I thought it was. It's not. Because I asked myself, the slaves was even living to be 100 on the plantation. Now, they was eating pigs. They was eating chitlins, pork chops. How did they live to be 100? Because the meat was just raised and cooked. It wasn't no chemicals and steroids and all that stuff yet. Over time, because we couldn't, humans started to reproduce. So they had to make more meat for the new generations. And for them to produce more meat, they had to pass new laws on chemicals, different substances. They had to now start to grow these animals in unnatural ways and unnatural environments with age acceleration and all that, because America, the population increased, and now everybody addicted to meat. And what it is like every generation they get new addicts, new junkies, but they got more junkies than supply. So what the dealers do is they gotta cut the supply with new chemicals, new additives, and you end up with something that ain't even meat no more after a couple of generations of cut. It's just like that cocaine. If you giving me that pure stuff that ain't been stepped on, right? But if the thing been cut and stepped on 100 times, it ain't even cocaine no more. It's it's something totally different than cocaine. Okay? It's a whole new thing now. It's not the same. I'm now addicted to a new drug. Because what happened is they will put so much additives in that stuff to stretch it. What happened is the junkies will get addicted to the cut, to some of the additives you putting in it. And I'm telling you something. They'll be like, man, I don't know what you did to that stuff last night, but I want some more of that, man. And they don't know I ain't do nothing but cut your shit, bro. Like I stretched your shit. Like, you know it's a cold game when the stuff that I'm putting in your stuff to stretch it with, you get addicted to that and you don't even want the cocaine no more. That's how the fentanyl stuff rolls up. They was using a fentanyl just to stretch and cut the other stuff, but the fiends start getting addicted to the cut. And now the people are getting addicted to like the genetically modified, like the cut stuff. It's not real food. It's just a bunch of processed stuff with a bunch of scientific engineering behind it to make you crave it and be a addict to it. And I know what I'm talking about, bro. I'm from a family where I gotta drink Kool-Aid. I gotta eat a honey bun. It'll be I'll just be sitting up like, and it'll be like a crack fiend, like, bro, I need me a zebra cake around this mother. Where's the cookies at? Quit playing with me. For real, what y'all doing, man? Where are the Swiss cake rolls? What you doing? Like, it's like a drug. Like, I ain't hungry, I'm just craving it. It ain't like my stomach growling. It's just something else in me saying, ooh, I got to indulge. And I can just sit there and eat them. I don't have to be hungry. I can just be high, if you know what I mean. But I'm just saying, it's more like a person indulging than trying to eat because I'm hungry. It's like, no, it's like more like if you give a crackhead a lot of money, they gonna keep getting high. They gonna kill themselves quick. And so if you that's what obesity is. Obesity is a result of, it's so much stuff, food to eat out there for cheap that tastes real good. And so we're like dope fiends going to these grocery stores every day. We ain't buying food. We're buying science projects, drugs. That's why they call it the Food Drug Administration. Why do they got the food and the drug in the same administration, the FDA? Because the people who research the drugs, they know how to make people addictive. They know how to make addicts. They're giving that data over to the food corporations to make these foods in certain way that it ain't really food, it's a drug. It's like, you gotta get, it's like, if I tell you let's be vegan, the parasites that's in us is gonna beat our asses. That's what demons are, man. If you wanna get biblical, have you ever looked up parasites under a microscope? Watch this. This what they were talking about, demons. Look at this. They said he's possessed by demons because the stuff that they feeding us, we ain't craving it. It's these demons in us that's possessing us, telling us, go eat that zebra cake. Ooh, nigga, some waffles with that Aunt Jemima sound good. That ain't you craving that. That's this, it's a parasite in my gut right now. His name Church's Chicken. I love that greasy shit. I'm telling you, I bite into a piece of Church's Chicken and I suck the grease out the skin. That's right. I'm serious, that's some country boy-ish right there. We like that grease. We'll rub the biscuit around in that grease. What you talking about? Country boy ain't scared of no grease. Why you think we clogged up? Yeah, we ain't even wasting that grease. In the South, they'll keep bacon fat. What you talking about? But I'm just saying, bro. This is what demons are. Once you start. This is what get in you when you get addicted to something. And when you say, man, I'm craving this thing, it ain't really you. It's like a mama that's pregnant. She may not be hungry. If her baby hungry, she gotta eat. Because her baby like a parasite. So the mama may not necessarily be hungry, and the pregnant women will tell you, I'm not really hungry, I'm just craving chips and ice cream. And pregnant women be craving weird stuff. They be like, you know what? I want Slim Jims and Jolly Ranchers. It don't even got a match, you know. Let me get macaroni and whipped cream. Seriously. And it's because the baby is trying to taste all of that, and they're one body. The baby is like, I want to try this. He's exploring the world around him through his mama. And they're one. So she ain't just doing what she want to do. She doing what the baby influence her biology to do too, because the baby do have some power over her. Like I said, if the baby hungry, she gonna get hungry. That's the way nature made it, so you can eat to feed the baby. You're connected. You ain't just eating for yourself. And a lot of older women will tell the pregnant women that they'll say, girl, you better make sure you eating, because you ain't just eating for you now. And I guess now looking back at it, that was their way of telling them, you may not be hungry, but if you craving something, eat it, because that's the baby craving it. It's just like a parasite. If you're not pregnant, but you full of certain parasites, when these parasites get hungry, it's a certain chemical that they eat, like in your food. You don't read the back of that stuff, but all of the crazy stuff that they're putting in our food, it ain't for you. It's to feed the let me stop using that. It's to feed the micro soldiers that they got inside of you. They got their own little alien demons inside of us. And here they are right here. These are not natural to the earth. We keep talking about aliens and other planets. The aliens are invading your planet, which is your body. Your body is your planet. And when the aliens land inside your realm, it's because consent. You allowed them. They can't come to our planet, to our realm, our reality, without us voluntarily doing it. This is how demonology works. But what I'm doing now, I'm speaking spiritual, religiously, and I'm tying it into biology and science, because what the world did, they separated science from religion. But what Bro Sanchez do, I bring them back together with syncretism. And at this time, we're going to take a small song break so that I can rest my mouth for 30 seconds to a minute, and then we'll come right on back with the rest of the stream. And if y'all stick around, I'll gift some memberships maybe. And I'll open up the call line and extend the show if y'all stick around. Don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dial. And what you're hearing now is Beats by Sanchez. We're going to play one of these. I'm going to take a small break because I got to get me some water. And then I got to open up my door. And I'm finna come back, and I'm not going to stop till I give you all of this knowledge concerning what I got today. And it's a lot of it. So enjoy the video. Enjoy the music, guys. We'll be right back. Be right back.
Sánchez cocinando.
And we back. You know I'm not going to keep you in between commercials too long because I value your time and I also want to keep my viewer retention. People tend to leave if you take long breaks. So I understand that. I value y'all time. And so let me hop right back into the topic. If you guys stick around, like and share the video, support the show. It's Sunday. We're going to try to extend it for callers. And hopefully that'll mix things up and bring some excitement. People, these are parasites. And what I want to explain to you is that we're not who we really supposed to be under these when these are in our body. Now, there's a lot of things in our diet that put different kind of parasites in us. And when it's time for these parasites to feed, they will make you not only crave certain food and stuff, but they'll make you crave certain devious behavior. Because a lot of these parasites in our body too, they feed off of certain things that are released. Like, for example, people that have an over-sexualized sex drive, that's a parasite. And these parasites are what we call demons when they say, well, you got a sex demon or you got a pride demon or this demon. Basically, we are what we eat. And the concept of we are what we eat is a part of demonology. Like real talk, you can't make this up. Think about what I'm telling you. What do we do before we eat? We pray over our food and bless it. Why would we tell God to cleanse this food? Why would we pray over food to cleanse it? Because our ancestors were superstitious at some point when we started losing this knowledge. We knew it, but we didn't know it. But we knew enough to know it's some invisible stuff in this food that I can't see. Because if you look at this food, it don't look dirty. It smell good. That macaroni, that pork chop smell good. It don't look dirty. Our ancestors was using a spiritual way to cleanse the food from invisible entities. They understood these small And I'm not saying this is what parasites are. It can be frequency waves that are distorted, right? Instead of these little cartoon CGI little characters, what they trying to show us is cymatic patterns, distortions in your water. You're 70% water. And parasites, you don't look at them like physical germs like what I just showed you. They are demons. They're vibrational entities. And what I'm showing you is more like this. Your body is 70% water. The ugly monsters are the ugly geometry that are these crazy geometrical shapes that don't make no sense. It's distortion. They trying to discredit the Japanese guy, Mr. Emoto, with his sound experiment because they don't want us getting into the knowledge that Tesla knew about vibration and all that. Now look at here. What parasites are distortion patterns in our water, because we're 70% water. They telling you that a bunch of these little bugs are floating through your water like this, but that ain't what's happening. It's a bunch of like vibrational disturbances in your water in certain areas, creating these ugly little shapes. They call it, they give you this, but this is the children. They don't want you to know the vibrational reality of how everything worked, how Tesla understood it. So what we're really looking at is holographic distortions. And they're trying to say, well, this is a microscopic organism, when it's a disturbance in your water, in your own water. And it's manifesting as a being with a consciousness. And that's what cymatics is. Everything in the universe is basically a disturbance, just like the Big Bang. It's a disturbance in the ethereal water, as within, so without. So just like you got a bunch of stars and all that in the night sky, you got a bunch of different vibrational, microscopic, if you will, creatures within your waters. The waters within, waters without. So our waters are filled up with all kind of little, like stars, galaxies, that'll be these little, like what they're calling parasites or germs. Each one got a mind of their own, like you looking at a different galaxy. Each galaxy got its own little, let me show you. Each of these universes got its own little characteristic, vibration, color, frequency, speed that it's flashing, and its own little predictable frequency and cycle of just like the, and all of this just is floating in the waters of space, each one influencing those waters in its own way, because space is one body with all of these many different phenomena that we call galaxies within it, no different than your body being full of all of these phenomena that they want to call parasite cells, germs, all influencing the one body, right? Just like each galaxy in the universe that they're trying to give you here. So as within, so without. Each galaxy that manifests within the darkness is like a ripple effect manifesting in the ocean, right? The expansion of life is based upon a disturbance of the ether. This is what all the greats knew. So I'm gonna show y'all another way to tie this in with the Garden of Eden. And this way here is gonna blow you away. Watch what I'm about to do now. You're gonna love it. So what is the bit and fruit all about? Let's go back to the thumbnail, because whenever we talk about the Garden of Eden, just like the one brother, they talk about biting an apple. They talk about a bitten apple. Now the Garden of Eden is named after an ancient tech pharaoh named Aten. The Nordic people call him Odin. This is the God that created the simulation. You know him as Yaldabaoth, the Baphomet, Uncle Sam, the Demiurge, Yahweh. Okay. And he goes by the name of Aten, Odin, Aten. And this simulation is his little experiment. So let me just tell you something so it don't confuse you. The earth is the Garden of Eden, but they're telling you that the base reality was the Garden of Eden. The base reality of what we call the utopia in the middle of the earth was called Asgard, Shambhala, other names before the Greeks came with Eden. But the reason I want to teach you that is because technically the Garden of Eden would be the realm of the demigod Aten, which would be the earth realm. It can be confusing. So the reason I wanted to point that out to you is because us leaving the Garden of Eden is represented by a bitten apple. And this tech god named Aten, he created technology. Like I told you, that's how we left the garden. We became technological. So the bitten apple, they actually is showing you to it in our times now. Check it out. Somebody gonna say, Sanchez, are you telling me that the corporation that we call Apple been on the earth? Let me go deep because today's Sunday. Let me talk to you. The corporations are literally ancient corpses, demigods. All of the corporations are a witch that cheated death, manifesting their agenda through one of these corporations. The corporations rule the world. And guess who the corporations are? The dynasties, the private families. That's who got your politicians and world leaders in their pocket. Apple, Google, all them. These families that own these corporations, they've been on the earth ever since ancient Egypt.
Oh my God!
And they got the same symbols. They got the same. I'm telling you that we've cheated death, and everybody ain't who you think they are. Some of these people been on this earth for a long time, carrying out the same satanic agenda to each generation. These symbols that we see in our time, they are some of the oldest symbols on earth, and they keep coming and going. Now, when you see the Apple logo, they give you a rainbow, right? What is the bitten apple that's shaped like a rainbow? Sanchez, teach them something. Check this out. What I do is called syncretism. You can't do it if your third eye ain't open. Now, check this out. This is called chakra layers. This is the bitten rainbow. Listen, let me teach you something. They got all this knowledge looking stupid with these fairy tales. Listen here. You got a big bubble around your body and it's layered like an onion. And it's layered with every color of the rainbow, creating a different color you in a different universe. And these universes are color coded. They're color coded, and each color is a frequency. You within, you as within, so without. We encompass all of the colors of the light spectrum because we are pure light. And if you shine pure light, you can see the rainbow aura around a flashlight. Go and do the experiment. Go do it. Any light source will create a rainbow aura around the white light. So in the middle of your aura is this white light. You call it the pineal gland. It's like Polaris. It's a white light. Surrounding that white light is a rainbow aura, which is creating Saturn, or the ripple effect of life. Because that white light is like a rock that's interacting with the darkness around it. It's like me dropping a rock in the water, and it's creating a ripple effect. When your white light dropped into this dark ethereal sea, it created all these alternate versions of you, like a ripple effect. Now check it out. In the middle of this rainbow bubble is a bite mark to show you the opening of how to get out. That's called a crown chakra. Let me show you the bitten apple. No one else gonna show y'all this. Watch this. Here's the truth about the bitten apple, the symbol. Because it's deep, it's been on the earth. Here go the bitten apple right here. It's a Taurus field. This apple is bitten because the vortex at the top allows the energy to recycle in and around it. Just like I'm gonna show you here, I'm gonna pull up a Giphy for the new people. We always wanna pull that up. Here is the bitten apple. All of the people in power know the secrets of the earth and electromagnetic energy. And we found this out in ancient Egypt. And it became forbidden because this is the knowledge that will make man like gods, AKA transhumans, which is what the pharaohs were. They was getting into computers, wireless technology. What you think the obelisks are? Those are like 5G towers. And they've survived so many resets. If you destroy these towers around the world, let me show you something. If you destroy these towers around the world, all of the archons are drop dead, like robots without a battery. Watch this. They're receiving, it's a network of energy systems that started in Egypt. And the first energy grid is right here in front of your face. It's a worldwide network of towers that's interconnected with the Eiffel Tower, the Empire State Building. It's a wireless network energy grid they ain't even telling you about. It's been so many cataclysms on this earth, but guess what? These obelisks and these little needles still standing.
Stupid.
Entire mountains crumble down, but this little needle standing up. Some mysterious about this earth now. You got entire empires that done fell down to rubbish, but this little bitty old needle still standing through all that test of time. These little needles all around the earth still standing. Earthquakes decimate entire cities, but the pyramids and these little needles, they still go. You know why? These things foundated deeper to the earth than we think, and they are in special places on the earth that are what I call safe spots for any cataclysms. And what's so crazy about it, it's because they part of an ancient grid built into the simulation to keep the non-player characters charged. They don't receive their energy from they don't create their own energy like we do. Inside of your body is a soul. That is an energy source. And that's what your body using to power itself. When your soul leave your body will no longer power itself. It's that simple. There are another group of humans among us, they don't have souls. So they have to power themselves by finding a way to siphon the energy from people with souls. And how do they do that? Through the world system that we got of meat eating and veganism. Let me show you what I mean. Everybody with a soul, you can live on this earth without being a predator. You don't gotta take energy from nothing. If you got a soul in your body, you can become a vegan. You're a pure light being. The plants ain't nothing but light. Photosynthesis is all light based. In other words, the light of the base reality is being absorbed in the trees and the plants, and we eat that. And it's like a big reciprocity system to where we're eating the light of the light of our base reality. Because we left home, y'all. We left home. In this earth realm, we're separated from the true light of our base reality because we under this firmament dome. But how do we connect with that life source energy from the base reality? The trees and the plants in this simulation, the mycelium network with the mushrooms that they banning, the herbs and all that, and they want you to eat meat. All of these plants is different light forms that's directly absorbing the light of the true base reality. This is why the people who were originally vegans, they behaved a certain way. Versus in order for you to be a meat eater, right? It ain't as simple as let me make a spear and go chase an animal, right? It ain't as simple as let me they try to make it like, well, when man learned how to sharpen the wood into a spear, he became a hunter. You think it took man millions of years to learn how to sharpen a stick?
Stupid.
Well, Sanchez, why wasn't they hunting if they already knew how to make spears? Because they didn't know how to be killers. They didn't know how to make something bleed, how to make something hurt. They didn't have the heart. They were still good, righteous beings. They had to get degraded over time to get merciless to say, okay, I can actually kill this animal and make it suffer just so I can indulge off this tasty meat. Even when I grew up in Alabama as a little boy hunting, it wasn't about the technology. It was about, I was looking at that rabbit as a pet. Like all of my brothers and cousins and uncles, they went through the initiation. When you look at the real young children on a farm, they want to play with the animals. They want to have the animals as pets. But what you will see at a very young age, they'll breed that out of them children. They will make the youngest child do the killing. And really, that is kind of child abuse. When you think about it, the psychological, it's a cult, man. We're in a meat-eating cult. And it was never about we didn't have the technology to be meat eaters. We didn't have the heart. If you look at all the pre-dynastic spiritual systems, they had rules against harming animals, which proves what I'm saying. And I'm going to read you some scriptures here in a minute about in the Bible that talks about how animals shouldn't be harmed. So the barbarians, it was a certain people that the Bible spoke of who were meat eaters. It wasn't everybody. Everybody was, if you were original indigenous being with a soul, you didn't need meat. You didn't have to be a predator. All you needed was the plant life and herbs. But there was some people that couldn't connect with the herb and plant life, in my opinion. They'd have no connection to anything that absorbs true light through photosynthesis, just like you do it too, right? So what they gotta do, they gotta siphon their energy from something that does absorb the light, like a leech. They become this host, like a parasite or a mosquito that have to get its energy from something that's getting its energy from something, because it ain't built in a way to directly connect to the true energy source of the universe. It's separated from God, which is just energy, the true energy source behind the veil, behind the firmament dome. The beings that are condemned to this earth, they can't access the energy beyond this earth, which is why they are trapped in here to predate on each other, and they've fallen into cannibalism and all kind of parasitical ways to siphon energy from each other. That's what this whole earth is based upon, a big energy war. It's all about energy. We think it's about money, but money is power, literally. We're talking energy. And this is what it was about in Egypt. And it's basically, you got different groups of rogue humanoids fighting for who gonna control the systems of power harnessing, because they're robots. Think about it. An organic human ain't gonna be killing for no electricity. Because if you look at them tribes in the jungle, they don't got power. They don't got lights and electricity. And they just fine. They ain't gonna fight over electricity. Now, if I was a humanoid and I relied on artificial energy to power myself, I'll fight you over that, because that's like my blood. That's my life force source. And there's not a lot of it on Earth, because they running out of ways to harness this energy in an efficient way to be able to power all of these humanoids. So they got to keep expanding their energy grid, because just like the humans, the machines are populating too, and they need more food, which is electricity. So what do we see? We see the rise of humanoids all around us, AI machines and bots everywhere. And as more of them come, we hear the government speak about new energy. Why? Because there are more machines coming to the earth. They're reproducing at this time too. A whole nother generation of AI bots is coming into the earth as I speak. So they're gonna have to keep building new energy systems on top of old energy systems. And that's why they will never get rid of these Tekkens and these obelisks. These were the world's first 5G, 4G, whatever kind of G towers you're talking about, but the G is for God tower. The gods were the world's first transhumans. Once they became half human, half robot, they can no longer directly connect to the true energy source.
Sanchez.
Facts, and on top of facts. You as a human, you're directly connected to your own soul, which is powering your body. But if I make you half man, half machine, you just can't power yourself directly with your soul. Your machine half is gonna have to pull its energy from a battery, from a tower, some kind of external source. And that's what happened to the original humanoids. All of us ain't the same. We look the same, but trust me, all of us ain't pulling our energy from the same source. And that translates to all of us don't have the same God, because God is energy. Your God is the source of your energy and power. AI serves a God named El because their energy is electricity. They're pulling their electricity from an artificial energy grid that's built by man. We're pulling our current, our electrical power or life force energy directly from the true source beyond the veil. And the way that we connect more with the body and the soul to merge them into, for example, you are a soul in a body. And the way that you make the body a better dwelling for the soul is by eating other things around you that absorb light just like you.
That's right.
You are what you eat, and you eat what you are. So if I am light, guess what I need to be consuming?
That's right.
And I'm telling you, all of the fruits and vegetables come in all of the colors of the rainbow for a reason. All of the fruits and vegetables come in the blueberries, the strawberry, the banana, you name a color in the rainbow, there's a whole fruit family for that. Because the fruits and vegetables are the light codes manifesting, just like you are a light code manifesting. That's the science behind veganism, guys, all right?
That's right.
Let me share some with you. Yeah, it goes into cymatic frequencies in light. We talking photosynthesis. Watch this. What they do, they arrange all of these fruits and vegetables, and it looks so dope. It looks like a gradient, bro. They make it like the rainbow, like this one. Look at how dope that is. Every color in the light spectrum is manifesting as a fruit or vegetable. So if you were a chakra-based being, meaning a fallen angel like what we are, you have an aura. And what your aura is every color of the light spectrum you manifesting. So let me show you. It's about mind, body, and spirit. We forget that your spirit is a part of your health. It's the most important part. Check this out. Everything on the earth manifesting as a plant, it's connected to the earth via the mycelium network. Everything, it's connected to the universe, because that's what I meant to say. I've been saying earth. Not everything can connect to the universe. So things that can't connect directly to the universe, they attach themselves to beings that can connect to the universe, which is me and you. Now look, fruits and vegetables is feeding all of your electromagnetic frequency code. You are more than just your body. You are the energy around your body. And to expand your energy bubble, right, is to eat fruits and vegetables. People who eat fruits and vegetables even vibrate on a higher level, because they don't have the karma that comes with the animal and the chemicals that it releases upon death, and they're getting pure light from the universe and that's why they trying to genetically modify the fruits and vegetables. You see what I'm saying? Because they trying to take the light code out of it. The thing that will really, because you ain't just growing your body, people. I keep telling you, mind, body, spirit. You growing your spirit too. You growing your body from the outside in, and you growing your spirit from the inside out. And the thing about it is this: we can look from around us. You will crave certain things. Like, what's crazy about each of these color bubbles? Each of these color bubbles is associated with one of the 7 main organs, one of the 7 primary organs in the body. Each of these organs is a vibration that's manifested in the flesh from a chakra layer. So each of these chakra layers is a frequency that manifests as without and as within. So the chakra layer around the body manifests as a chakra ball inside the body. And if you study the way that an onion is layered, you will see the same thing, that each layer around the onion has a part in the stalk in the middle of it where it wraps itself back in and out like a torus field. And I'll show you now what I'm saying. You cut a onion open and you will see that all of the layers are connected at the middle. So the outer layer of the onion, it goes back into the middle, and it goes through the middle and up and around again. And basically what the onion is what I was showing you earlier here. It's an electromagnetic, everything is just a torus field. Here it is here. Now the word onion, I deciphered this myself. It comes from the term on and on and on. When you say on and on, you get onion. So if you look at the spelling of onion, it's literally, let me type it out in the chat room. This is what syncretism is about. So let me show you. On. It's, you got to say on twice, like on and on. It goes on and on. And that's to say that it's layered, right? So the onion, the name of it itself is a testament to its layered nature. It goes on and on like a ripple effect, like your chakra layers. So each layer has a middle section of the stalk that's responsible for its expansion outward, though, as you can see here. And the energy goes in and out and around, just like we see here. It's all connected. So the thing about the different colors of the fruits and vegetables is that we are a multi-dimensional being. We are a moving solar system, and you're the sun in the middle of your solar system. And this solar system is color coded. You know how you get the pretty planets from NASA? Each one its own little beautiful color, all the way down to the blue earth and all these different hues. They are plagiarizing and corrupting this knowledge right here. We're at the center of our own universe. That the sun in the solar system is bull crap. It's you and the veil around you that was created when you made impact with the ether. You see what I'm saying? It's called an underwater diver splash. If you want to research this to kind of get an idea of how it works, let me show you. When you dive into something, you don't get to see clearly when you make impact because you blind yourself in your own little mushroom cloud or veil. Or you close your eyes because you know diving in the water with your eyes open might hurt. So the moment we make impact with the water, there's a brief blind moment where we wait for this, it's called an underwater splash. In other words, you haven't been born yet. You like a caterpillar in a cocoon. You just now can't. See, they told y'all you were born whatever your birth date is, but that's a lie. Whatever your birth date is when you made impact with the earth. Now what this is a brief moment where we're waiting on the underwater splash to dissipate, and then we will be born. We ain't been born yet. We still in the process of being born. The birth process didn't stop when your mama pushed you out. Now the earth gotta push you out. And what you're calling the earth is a mushroom cloud around your own body that you created. So if you look at this dude inside of this underwater splash pattern, there's a big circular crater above him on the water surface, and there's a white line in the middle of that crater, and this is where they get the UFO ship, Beam Me Up Scotty. Let me teach y'all something. Check this out. They corrupted this stuff, man. Check this image out right here. Your mothership was created by you. That's your crown chakra. The UFO ship is your crown chakra. You created your own crown chakra when you dove into the water. Look at this dude right here. Look what's around his head. A big old halo like Jesus. Look at this big old circle that's around this man's head. He made that when he dove in the water. He did that. That's why they said that's why they got the God shoe. They got Atlas and all them holding up their own world, like the scarab beetle in Egypt. Everybody has spun their own cocoon, just like every diver blinds themselves in their own splash pattern underwater. And so when everybody jump in the water, we can't see at first. You gotta wait a few seconds for you blinded yourself with your own mushroom cloud when you made impact. And that's what this life is. Our life has just begun when we die, fam. Death ain't nothing but this little splash pattern moving away from in front of you, and that's gonna strip the body away from you. Then you're gonna see what this thing is that you came into, like Neo did. But check this out, right? This little pattern that you see the diver got is how your electromagnetic energy field was created. It's an explosion pattern that was created when the sperm hit the egg. When your sperm went kamikaze and crashed into the egg, the reason it did that was for transformation. Because the explosion pattern is the human body. That's what I was showing y'all earlier. Let's go back to that. You see that? Ain't no random shapes in the universe. It's all about cymatics. And if you think mushroom cloud, you'll get it. You'll figure it out. So from your feet to your head, the reason humans shape like humans is but the same reason mushroom clouds shape like mushroom cloud. You are an explosion. I keep telling y'all, you're the bomb. Drop one for them, Becky. I told y'all this is deeper than veganism versus meat eating. I told you I'm gonna go deeper than just veganism versus meat eating. But I am gonna debunk a lot of the meat eater claims, like I just did with the agriculture argument. Meat eaters use more mess up the earth. Most of agriculture is done to feed cows and chickens, not humans, dog.
That's right.
And I just read that. So most of the farming is done to produce meat. And then when you think about the value and the nutritional value of a hamburger or a hot dog, a smoked sausage, right? A pork chop versus an apple or an orange, it's ridiculous because the fruit is cheaper. The meat is so high. What you think I want the people to eat? If I own grocery stores all across America and I know that me letting produce rot on the shelf ain't gonna cost me no money, but if that meat go bad, I may go out of business. I gotta deal with all the media propaganda and so-called health experts to teach the lie that you need meat in your diet as a primary thing, protein and all that. But yet I just debunked that because all of the big athletes and wrestlers, they own pretty much meat-heavy diets. And they still gotta take a bunch of protein shakes to get buff. And what's in those protein shakes? It's plant-based supplements.
That's right.
You just can't debate this, man. And you know who's teaching you all this? A meat eater. It's one thing to be a meat eater, but don't be no liar. I'm serious. I tell you all day, man, when I was smoking cigarettes, I enjoyed my Newports. But I ain't gonna tell you it's good for you. Everybody knows some people that are capped like, cigarettes ain't that bad for you for real when you think about it.
Stupid.
I'm the dude that's standing out there. I'ma ruin your little fantasy. Cause how many of y'all like me? Drop a one. Let me see some with the chat real quick. We can do a lot of things, but we can't lie to ourselves. Like, for example, I'm standing out here, we all smoking cigarettes. And somebody like, but when you think about it, smoking cigarettes ain't that bad. It ain't really that bad for your health because my dad has smoked them for a bunch of years. And, I can run real fast and I've been smoking them. I'm the type guy that'll be in a smoke pit and I'm going to ruin the lot. You ain't going to want to smoke with me because I'm going to be like, bro, these cigarettes killing us right now, bro. While I'm smoking it with you. And somebody may be like, but you talking crap about cigarettes, but you smoking them. You right. And I know that it's killing me, which is why I'm going to get off of them and you ain't.
That's right.
Because you lying to yourself. I was smoking cigarettes for years, and guess why I was able to get off of them? Because I never lied to myself. I knew I was destroying my lungs. But the people that play them little games and lie with themselves, they gonna be on cigarettes until they be hooked up to one of them things and they throat talking like this on auto-tune like Zap Rogers. I hate the joke on it, but I'm just saying. Them the people you couldn't tell them nothing. Okay. But I'm just serious. It's a lot of people that, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like, if we doing something, we doing it, man. We ain't got to lie about what we're doing and what it's doing to us. That's gonna blow my high right there, bro. For real, though. Like, we ain't gotta keep bringing it up, but we ain't gonna lie about it either. I ain't gonna cap to you. I don't wanna keep talking about the fact that cigarettes gonna kill me while I'm smoking them. But if it comes up, I'll argue you all day that you lying and that it ain't good for us now.
That's right.
But I was never like that. If I'm doing something, I can own up to what it's doing to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can tell you, man, this liquor destroying my kidney. And that's what I like. Like, I had a lot of rappers. Rappers would tell you that at some point, like, I'm sipping all this syrup and it's destroying my liver, and they'll even rap that stuff. And what they telling you is, I know what this is doing to me. I just can't stop, but I ain't gonna lie. like it ain't killing me.
That's right.
And I can respect a rapper that's sipping on syrup to their grave, but keeping it real, than a person that's saying that ain't bad for you. That's okay to do.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Now drop a one if that ain't the realest thing that right there, if that ain't the truth and the facts right there. Come on now. Because that's where the meat eating and veganism argument come from, some people that don't want to admit the truth to themselves. Because I eat meat too. But I'm not going to lie to you like, bro, like it, you know, everything y'all say is just what crackheads say. You try to blame your withdrawals on the plants. When I tried to stop eating meat, Sanchez, I was getting sick. Yeah, that's natural, dog. You've been eating meat for years. You ain't just gonna stop and think that it's gonna be, your body naturally gonna go through that. But why they ain't educating us on that? Because they know that they got you a junkie. They know they got you a junkie, and it's a corporate capitalistic agenda. You gotta think about, bro, how much produce costs versus how much cereal costs, eggs costs, bacon costs, milk costs. All the stuff that's gonna kill you quick, it costs the most because we're drug addicts. It's like a crackhead, right? That stuff ain't cheap. I don't know if you know that. Heroin ain't cheap. Crack ain't cheap. Cocaine ain't cheap. But the things that's gonna kill them the quickest, it costs them the most. You see what I'm saying? For the cost of a crack rock, you can get so many batches of bananas from out the grocery store versus putting some bad in your body versus good. But they don't want us living long for cheap. They want us dying quicker for an expensive price because it fits their agenda. If I was an evil capitalist, it'll make me more money if people die quicker. It'll make me more money if they live short but spend a lot of money for their short life. Spend up their money quick, then go ahead and throw them in a hole in the ground when they broke. That's the cap. If you're at the top, that's how you thinking. What's the quickest way I can extract the most wealth out of a human, then throw them away? And when they go to thinking like that, we go to living shorter. Our lifespan gets shorter and the cost of everything go up. Them two things happen at the same time because somebody is sitting back saying, I want to extract as much wealth out of a human as quickly as possible, then throw them away. And when they sitting back thinking like that, the lifespan gets shorter and the taxes get higher.
That's right.
Tell me that ain't your reality. Everything costs a lot of money and then you die real quick. That's just pretty much life. I mean, I'm just serious. That's just life. Spend, you're dead. And that's a cap. It's someone trying to manufacture this thing called a consumer for their best bottom line, and it's so evil. And it ties into the veganism versus eating meat debate. The whole eating meat debate, the meat industry is putting such a strain on the earth that we literally gonna have to geoengineer a whole nother form of flesh or meat by 2050 because we can't produce meat. But we finna have a population boom in our lifetime. And they're saying it ain't gonna be enough meat on the planet, so we gotta get creative. Now, there was a movie that came out, I think it was called Ice Runner. They was on a train going round and round in circles. And they was eating this little black meat, some type of little futuristic stuff. Anyway, in the future, people it's gonna be hard to tell what's real or fake. So in the future, you can sit down and eat the best steak you ever ate in your life and find out that wasn't even steak at all. is some kind of genetically modified protein that's patented by some company. This is what the meat, it ain't gonna be no meat industry in the near future. It's simply gonna be the protein industry. I keep telling y'all.
That's right.
When you manipulate something so much for so long, it can no longer be defined as meat anymore. Mark my word, I'm telling y'all, they're gonna stray away from the word meat altogether in replace of the word protein, smart protein, and as we get into the futuristic world, right? So they said, yeah, we're gonna have something like meat in the future, but it ain't gonna really be meat. And if you do your research and see what the experiments they doing, it'll make you wanna vomit in your mouth. Like we're literally eating science projects now, but as if that was anything new though, right? It's just to another level now that's like, oh my God, y'all just literally finding a way to turn chemicals into something that resembles a steak or a hot dog or a fish fillet. That's what the future is about. It's about making likenesses of things that once existed. We're heading into a new earth as I speak. The old earth is fading away. And that's why it's being harder and harder to tell what's real from fake. Because when you look back in history, they separated the organisms by types. Homo erectus, Australopithecus. They did the same with the animals. But evolution is a lie. It's mutation. It's not a natural process of organisms changing over time. It's an unnatural terraforming process of corporations and scientific agendas to harvest your energy. They're mutating what we call the human each generation. And to the point where 2100 humans won't even resemble humans. There's several videos online right now saying that by 2100 we won't even resemble humans. And it's not natural evolution. That's the lie that they telling you to, because when people try to play God, they gotta fool you like, no, I didn't do that. God did that. That's God turning everything and evolving. Think about this. God turned us from a monkey man to a cell phone user. So it's God's agenda to make us humans and consumers. Well, it seems like God wants us to be shoppers and spend a lot of money. It seems like God got the same agenda as Walmart, Microsoft, Google, and all them. Again, what God? Who's God? You see what I'm saying? Because the God of this world is El. That's what the humanoids are serving. That's the God of terraformation who come to make all things new again by transhumanism and by mutating them. It's not no natural evolution. It's people playing with you like you a guinea pig and telling you God did that to you. Why would God take away my God-given abilities? That's a dead giveaway. If I'm looking at ancient humans that were clairvoyant, they were intuitive, they were astral travelers, time travelers. Do you know how advanced the Olmec are? Our own scientists would tell you we can't even rebuild those Egyptian pyramids. So if there's a God and natural evolution, that mother is making us dumber. He ain't making us better. So I can't blame that on God. I got to blame that on man. That's man's agenda when you sit there and think about it. God ain't got nothing to do with that. But these blasphemers got the whole world think that the chaos we're experiencing is natural. It's natural. It's all natural. It's a difference between something being natural and something just being the only thing you ever knew. Because if you born in chaos, that's all you know. You don't know nothing else. So of course you gonna think it's natural.
That's right.
It ain't natural, it's just normal.
That's right.
A lot of times we shouldn't even be using the word natural. We ought to say, hey, it's normal to see a blue sky. We shouldn't say the blue sky is natural. How you know nature made that? Something happened on this earth a few thousand years ago and the natural environment was manipulated. We don't know what natural is. We just know what normal is. And that's the fact.
That's right.
So let's go ahead and debunk some more of these arguments. But let me see if we got any donations because I wasn't looking at the chat. And yeah, we did. Let me say shout out to Kingdom Building with AP. Shout out to Leonard Robinson. He said, big ups to you, Sanchez. A lot of information you have said in the past. It's happening. Mobile, Alabama in here. Appreciate your love. Leonard Robinson, salutes to you. Shout out to Zeke Yoda God. He said they already have it. It's called meat glue. That's facts. That's facts. They sure enough got it. So, you know, of course they're gonna push the meat eating over the veganism. It ain't because they care about you and they want you to get your proteins. It's because if you go in a grocery store, the most expensive thing in any grocery store is the meat department. That's the money maker, bro. Let's keep it real.
That's right.
Come on now. It's meat and then it's dairy. The cheese, the milk, the eggs, and what's at the top of the American diet every morning, every day. Cheeseburgers, stuff that require meat and dairy. And that's what you see on a farm. Because all of these people that eat meat, they keep trying to blame farming and agriculture on vegans, man. Come on.
Stupid.
Don't you know that all of the agriculture around a farm ain't even for the humans? That's for the cattle. So that's crazy. Cheese, milk, and meat. That's what we eat. We wake up in the morning. We eat eggs with cheese and bacon and sausage. You ain't eating no plants. The cows eating the plants and you're eating the cows.
That's right.
And then when it's time for dinner, you eat some more big meat with like a starch. Let's say steak and potato. You ain't really eating no veggies like that in no Western culture. It's meat and poultry and dairy. Because in Western cultures, they give all of their produce to their doggone animals like a food.
That's right.
And in return, they get a greasy hamburger. And they wonder why the nutritional value in their society sucks and why obesity is prevalent.
That's right.
And instead of fixing obesity, they start getting rid of people for fat shaming.
That's right.
Come on now. Instead of dealing with the issue, they try to hide the issue when you point it out. Where if you dealing with fat people and weight shaming, and you because this is a problem that y'all made because y'all so greedy and you're so devilish and you don't care nothing about people, it benefits you if they live shorter and spend more in a short lifetime. And they promote that in music too. Live young, wild, and free, young, reckless, splurge it out and live and basically live a quick life where you splurging and then you die, like I was saying earlier. But the most expensive thing in the grocery store is meat, then dairy. So if I got grocery store chains all around the world, I don't care about produce rotting on the shelf. But if that milk and them eggs and that cheese and these cows ain't selling, I got a problem. This is facts. Because I've worked at grocery stores. I worked at Sam's Club too. And I'm telling you what I know. They don't care about loss when it comes to produce, man. Okay? What they care about loss with is that meat and them steaks and that chicken. They will go crazy over that. They very serious when they're auditing meat and dairy. And it makes sense. They ain't tripping on them bananas that spoil. Like a lot of that fruit, that's what I'm telling you. Because they turned like the produce into basically the seasoning section. We buy probably more herbs and vegetables and fruits for dressing our meat than literally eating it directly, if you know what I mean. So humans will buy lettuce and onions and all that, but they're buying that just to put on their hamburger, right? Or they may buy herbs and still consume herbs, but it may be in a form of a seasoning on top of their steak. So we've turned the plants and the herbs into like the servants of the meat, when really the everything that's meat based used to eat the plants for their survival, if you know what I mean. So mortal beings with souls can connect directly to the plants, and that's all they need to sustain them, is all the various plant and herb grains. That's light beings with souls. Our ancestors in North America, FBA, Indigenous America, we wouldn't hunt turkeys. The pilgrim brought the turkey to the Thanksgiving dinner. Thanksgiving dinner at first was yams, dressing, greens, rutabagas. You didn't have no meat. Even in the South, if some of y'all my age, a lot of old heads, they didn't eat a lot of meat. If they did, the meat would be like for example, today, the meat dominate our plate. But I'm telling you, meat was so expensive that it didn't dominate our diet. It was more vegetables as a poor person. And what happened was, when we did get a pig or something on the plantation in the South, we would make it stretch by boiling it in the beans, in the greens, and we still do that now. So the primary meal was the beans or the turnip greens, the collard green. You had a big bowl of these collard greens, and you may have a few pieces of meat in there, in that bowl of collard greens. You know, because they'll make a big old bowl, a big pot of a certain vegetable, and it'll have like one little chicken boiled in it or something for the broth purposes, and like the bone seasoning the broth. And you may have a few little shards of meat floating around. And that's how we stretch that meat to get the most out of it. Because you see what I'm saying? But we then later started to get steaks and get our money up and become more meat in our diet. But even if you look at people in the jungle today, most of their diet is plant, because even when in the jungle, it takes energy and you risking your life to go hunt that big buffalo or whatever. So that's like a ritual or a feast. We like to think that tribal people are eating meat all the time, and we like to point to them to say, well, we've been eating meat. What you got to realize, a lot of the tribal people have been altered too. Their environments have been altered. Their ways and traditions have been altered too. Can't look for them for the truth either. So, not all, but the thing is this too. What I was gonna say, tribes in the jungle, most of their diet is plants, herbs, grains. The meat is like a delicacy. I may or may not catch something, but guess what? I know that apple gonna still be on the tree.
That's right.
You know, meat was never the main thing on our plate until we developed the technology to harness meat and reproduce it in unnatural ways, like slaughterhouses and cow farms with age accelerators and breeding program, all that crazy stuff. In Egypt, they was breeding all these animals and doing experiments to see on how to breed the best stuff. They was manipulating DNA, and they was doing it for many purposes. And one of those purposes was like how we doing today, simply for meat eating, for pleasure. Like the chickens we eat today, they were specifically bred a certain way so that they can last longer, and that when they're battered up and dropped in grease, they can cook a certain way. Now listen, if you literally grow up on a natural farm, your meat won't even look the same, taste the same, and it won't even cook the same. They've commercialized everything to get a better end product for the shelves and for taste, but not for nutrition. So if you got a piece of steak back in the day, it didn't have a lot of fat on it. It was a very lean piece of meat that then it was just, put it this way, they make the animals have a lot of fat on them because they don't move around. They stay in one place in their own fecal matter, and they get just fat. I would show you images of it, but YouTube is strict about that stuff. But you can imagine this sheep that's so fat it can't even stand up and never really move. They just breed them just to get big, cut them up, and eat them. Most of your hamburgers you eat, that cow never moved out of one spot its whole life. And you eating retarded food. And it's dumbing us down because you are what you eat. You eating animals that don't even know what they are. They don't even have self-awareness. Like a regular chicken that's born in a natural nature environment in the wild. It's kind of like how we are. We bred in a synthetic environment for capitalistic purpose. And that's called a ghetto, a neighborhood, right? A slum or something. You live in your own shit, so to speak, like the animals we eat, because we are what we eat. I told you this wasn't gonna be your same regular vegan versus meat eating stream.
That's right.
I'm here to make history. Let's debunk some meat eaters, y'all. Let's have some fun.
Dear vegans, if you love animals so much, then why do you eat all their food?
Getting tips with Granny.
Dear vegans, if you love animals so much, then why do you eat all their food?
Now, I hate to say this, but this old lady,
Stupid.
we just gotta keep it real. That is very dumb. If you love animals so much, why do you eat plants? You know what's so crazy? It's enough plants for me and them cows, but it ain't. But them cows can't even reproduce themselves at a rate to feed all the humans.
That's right.
This lady is bananas, and that's a pun intended. Did that go over y'all head? She's bananas, and we talking about veganism and meat eating. Yeah, this lady is bananas though. You know, meat eaters are very fruity in the brain, pun intended. It's crazy that they're meat eaters, but they're still nutcases. And I thought that the vegetarians and vegans ate the grains, the nuts, and all of the plants. But here's the thing about it, though. This woman said, and I got to let you hear it out of her mouth, this is the most crazy, another one more time for that S button.
Stupid.
Dear vegans, if you love animals so much, then why do you eat all their food?
Don't you know that there's more plant life on the earth than any other organism? Let me explain something to y'all real quick. It is more plant life on the earth than every other organism on the earth put together, and that's including in the ocean.
That's right.
Because it's plant life in the ocean too. And there's more plant life in the ocean than fishes in the ocean. Listen, the plants and mushrooms and all that, they outnumber all the other life forms on the earth. Go do your research.
That's right.
So you can't eat a it'll take. Do you know what it'll take for humans to eat enough fruit to where the animals can't have none too? That's crazy. That's crazy right there, y'all. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy because when everybody eat meat, the animals can't reproduce quick enough to sustain the meat industry. And we facing problems with that now, but they still making dumb arguments like this. They sound like addicts, y'all. I told you, when you're addicted to something, you can't think straight. It's no different than the crack fiend or anybody else. Your addiction to a thing, the pleasure it's giving you, will make you defend it with any kind of nonsense. It's sad to see because I keep telling you, the food and drug industry, the kind of response that you get from meat eaters is denial, just like a doggone crackhead. And they know they're in denial because they got to come with this kind of cringe propaganda. It's like, you know you wrong, but you got to say something. And you know that the algorithm going to be on your side no matter how wrong you are, which is why they don't got to put a lot of effort in their argument like I'm doing. They can just go up there and say something like,
Dear vegans, if you love animals so much, then why do you eat all their food?
and it'll go viral. Look at 1.4 million thumbs up. And that's because when you put in veganism, you don't get veganism. You get meat eaters dissing veganism. They're censoring everything that's going against their money, y'all. It's time to wake up, for real. I'm proving it to you. Look, how a vegan diet affects your brain. That's from BBC. All of these videos ultimately is telling you you shouldn't be vegan. You know, here's what happens to your brain when you go, like, that's 1.2 million views. All of the stuff that's at the top, why veganism don't work. But I'm searching for veganism videos. Like if I search for meat eating, I'm gonna get meat eating videos. And it ain't gonna really be nothing bad. But you see, and you need to peep it, man, and just think about the money and you will see why they do what they do. They're so predictable. If you're thinking about the bottom line, putting yourself in the mindset of these evil capitalists at the top, it is so easy to see why they do what they do. If you just think money like them, you'll see. So y'all get the point here. Y'all get the point. We 3 hours in, maybe if we're gonna open up the call lines, maybe we should do that now. So the bitten apple is technology. I went over a lot of different stuff. You know, I was probably bouncing around the place, but salutes to everybody who supported the show. Do y'all want me to keep going? And do y'all want me to allow people to call in one at a time? We're not doing a panel. It's gotta be one at a time. If y'all want me to do that, drop a 1. Y'all want to do like a little call in for 30 minutes, like one at a time, if people got questions, or maybe even smoke, because I got my sources on deck in case any smoke come up. I got more receipts on deck as well, because I went over this from a spiritual, religious, biblical, and biological and scientific perspective. I dotted my I's and crossed my T's.
That's right.
Let's see what the people are saying. We're getting a bunch of ones. Nah, it's y'all call, Dennis. I'm putting it in y'all hand. It's y'all's call. I'm giving y'all that power today. Call in. Let's go.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of this beloved community. We would like to take the time to say thank you for your continued support. We humbly appreciate all donations in the form of Cash App, PayPal, Super Chat, Patreon, and or via channel memberships. All of your contributions are greatly appreciated. Again, thank you for all that you do to show your support.
And I want to thank you, everyone who sent in a Cash App. I will read all of the Cash Apps at the end of the show. And if you send in a Cash App and you don't want it read, just put in "don't read" in the message. But I appreciate y'all so much. And we have a caller on. First caller, Sacred Knowledge. Let's get a mic check. Sacred Knowledge, mic check to you. We already.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
we hear
What's
you.
good?
Go
What's
ahead.
good?
I'm
That was a
doing good. Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That was a bomb ass cook right there, man. I enjoyed it.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that like needs to be talked about because a lot of you said a lot of really good points, but it's really common sense. Like I'm 50 years old and it took me all my life to get to where I'm at with it now, but now I understand. I'm not saying see, that word's been weaponized too, vegan, but I'm not saying I'm vegan, but I know I just realized what it is fruits and vegetables. That's the real food. And so they got us eating all this processed crap and wheat. If you come across the wheat field, you're gonna starve to death because that's not food. But they're making it into powder and then they make bread and shit out of it. And we eat that. It gets stuck in our intestines.
Real quick, not to cut you off. When we say grains and wheats and all of that, so yeah, we gotta scratch that out of there too, huh? So it should just be
like
okay. Got you.
gluten. Think of the word glue. It gets stuck in our intestines and makes it hard to absorb nutrients when you're eating a lot of breads and stuff because of the wheat. Gluten and ton, like Satan, because it's a government thing. But they designed the five food group. The 5 food groups were designed to make us not live 200-300 years like we used to. If you eat the 5 food groups, you're not going to live. But what I really wanted to say was it's important to know that they subsidize the meat industry. That's why it's available. That's why it's all there is to eat when there should be free food. You should be able to go on vacation and just go to a tree everywhere. There should be free food growing everywhere. They should be able to just pick the free food off a tree and eat, but they don't. They keep us like. And over here in California, they got these orange fields. They call it Orange County even. And that's like, to me, like a gaslighting us to make us think, oh, look, it's a thing, California thing, oranges, that's it. No, there should be fruit growing everywhere, not just oranges, but that's how they keep us from thinking. If they don't want to set no examples, so they shut down the South Central farms and they got us growing oranges, thinking that that's all we can grow. So and then they keep us eating fast food and crap. So the last thing I wanted to say is that our intestines tell us the story too. We have intestines that are really long, like giraffes and cows, and carnivores and omnivores have short intestines, so they push the meat out fast. That's why humans get colon cancer, because our intestines are too long, and by the time it gets to your colon, it's already putrefying, and that's why you get colon. So it's all, those are things I wanted to say so people know that we're not being told the real knowledge in school that would lead us to realize that look at food and fool. It's almost the same word, D for devil, L for Lucifer. They fooled us with the food. It's almost the same word because they got us thinking that processed crap is food when it's just fruits and vegetables that we should, I don't know. That's what I came to the conclusion. That's all I want to say, though.
No, that's good stuff. I appreciate your time and your call-ins as always, bro. Appreciate that.
Peace and love, brother. Pete.
Peace and love, bro. I'm going to bring on Adolphus next. But before I bring him on, I'm going to say if y'all want to stick around in the waiting room, do that, because if we have time, we might just bring on all the callers back for a round table, so stick around. Now, I doubt if we get any meat eaters on. Oh, snap, I made a mistake and clicked 2 people on. Hold up. Hold on. I got Adolphus, but it was a Kenneth. I think that was, okay, Kenneth must have stepped off. Adolphus, how you doing, man? Welcome back to the show. Peace and love, man. We're going to keep these callers rolling for the people, bro. Give them what you got. Thanks for calling in. Welcome back.
Man, I'm glad to be back, man. I'm glad to be back, bro. But listen, bro. Meat, morality, in the Bible, right? Here's my take on it, though, right? You know how America says it's a Christian nation, right? Right. So you know how America mouths itself as a Christian nation, right? Why is it that every American who that is a Christian doesn't follow biblical laws, especially Old and New?
Old and New Testament, he cut off.
Like, taking into account, right, Old and New Testament, right? Like, why don't Americans that are Christian actually follow the laws? That's my first question. The second question is taking into account all of the additives and foods, like the red 40, the blue, all of that. Like, I wonder why America doesn't ban all that. Like, I'm like the red 40s, the blue 10s, all that, and then all that, and then on top of that, there's like America. When it comes to a lot of the food here, right? America has if you look on the back, right, the ingredients are like unpronounceable. They could be multi-syllabic, they're unpronounceable. You can't read it. You can't read it. So like, I'm wondering why don't Americans just ban all additives, ban all of those. How do I say this? Let me see. Those sesquipedalian syllables. Those sesquipedalian words, if you will. When it comes to foods, though, that's all I'm wondering. Yeah.
No, say that last line again. My bad, it kind of cut off.
Why doesn't Mother America ban all of those
sesquipedalian
words when it comes to the ingredients on the back of the foods?
Oh, we the last country to ban. Look, it's stuff that was banned in so many other countries that's still allowed in America. And I keep telling you it's because I can't speak for other countries because I'm an American, but the conflict of interest of having your food administration and drug administration in one department is just nasty.
That's bad. That's crazy work. Separate it. Matter of fact, today I was watching a video it had Milton Freeman in it, right? Do you know who that is? Milton Freeman?
That name sounds so familiar. I've been hearing that name lately.
Milton Freeman is a European economist. That's who he is. He like Thomas Sowell. He's in the same league as Thomas Sowell. Both of them are economists, right? I was watching a video and a video about keeping and literally abolishing certain departments, right? Certain departments, right? Right. I was thinking, right, since you mentioned that, I was thinking, how about you separate the food and the FDA into totally new different departments, and then probably abolish the DA, abolish the Drug Administration, keep the food one, improve upon the food ones, so that way America's food can be so good to the point where it can be like top 5 food all the time, like top 5 food in the world. Like, how about y'all separate the FDA so we can have way better food? Like, I don't get that.
Yeah, these are facts. You always come with some very intelligent stuff like, but these are facts, man. And it just goes back to that whole FDA, man. Like, that right there is just because if I was in a capitalistic country where I know keeping people in a certain health state is better for my pockets. And so I would have to get with all of the people that's in the health department. If I'm the food corporations and like, look, man, we can't be stepping on each other's foot. Now, food is supposed to be, think about this now. I'm going to just share some with you. The fact that you got food and health in one department, or food and drugs, right? The thing is, it proves that our food ain't our medicine. I think it was Hippocrates or some Greek philosopher that said, let thy food be thy medicine. Or maybe that's in the Bible, it comes from somebody. But that's, when your food ain't your medicine, then you're going to have food and drugs. And this is conflict, like the food ain't getting you healthy because the people who create your food don't want to step on the people's feet who create, who part of the health and the